is not intended for viewers under the age of 13. If you are under the age of 13, please go to a more age-appropriate video. So, good morning, Todd. How are you doing today?
Chick picker. Oh, wrong show.
I don't know where all the girls are at this morning.
Look at that. Even Steven.
Yep, Steven's in there.
It's a manly man show this morning. He-Man Woman Hater Club.
That's right.
Remember
I
that?
need to find about four. I need to find 4 other guys real fast, like show who's boss.
Remember that Little Rascals show? One of the episodes was the He-Man Woman Hater Club. They wouldn't allow Darlene in their treehouse.
Was it Darlene or Darla?
Or Darla, whatever.
Yeah,
I was in love with Darla.
Yeah, I like that. I like the Little Rascals. My favorite one is when the Good Morning, Hank. When the what was it? The wild man got loose from the circus or something like that. Uncle so and so. I can't remember the name. It's been so long since I've seen them. But I like the Little Rascals.
Yeah.
It's probably so politically incorrect now, it's not even funny. But anyway, so how did your day end up yesterday?
In what way? I had a good day yesterday, I guess.
Well, good.
As far as sales go,
yeah.
It's good it was good for the rest of the year. I had like 5 sales for $150, but that's still kind of below what I want to do for fourth quarter sales, and we're in fourth quarter.
Right.
We're pretty much in the heart of it. So,
yeah. You think there's going to be a rush at the end?
I don't know. Of course, a lot of my stuff is not gifty stuff.
Right.
Some is, but I sell a lot of general stuff and a lot of vintage stuff that, we've gotten into that stigma in America that if you're going to give a gift, it has to be brand new in a spanky package,
Yeah.
and wrapped and tied with a bow and put a card on it. When I would rather have a 1912 gold piece. I don't care what it looks like. You give me a 1912 gold piece and I'm going to love you.
It's
but somebody else would take that and go, I'm going to sell this and buy me something.
Yeah. Good morning, Nathaniel. Well, that's why. Okay, first of all, it's like my mom says, what do y'all want for Christmas? Nothing. Because anything that I want, you're not going to spend that kind of money for. Well, I got to get you something. I said, okay, well, get us a gift, a gift card for $50 to Carnival Cruise Lines.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll drink to your health when we're on the cruise.
Yep.
Good morning, Bumcrack. People just have everything they want now. When I was a kid, and probably likewise with you, Christmas is when we got our big toys. My parents went all out at Christmas time. And, we got a little something for our birthday, but we didn't get every time we went to the store, we didn't get something, a toy or something of that sort.
Right.
So, but nowadays everybody has everything. And, one of my boys said, or Nicholas, he said, socks and underwear. And I'm like, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
Sasha, he collects band shirts, tour
Yeah.
shirts, that kind of stuff.
Cool.
So when I go to the thrift stores, I always have to go through the T-shirts just to see if there's any there. Because if I was to give him 5 or 6, $3 T-shirts from Goodwill, he'd be happy with that.
Huh.
But because that's something he collects. Because last year they got new telephones, and the year before that they got new laptops, and it's like I said, they get everything they want, especially when they get as old as our kids are.
Yeah.
Where they have jobs, and if they want something, they go buy it.
Well, my kids are still expensive.
Yeah, well, mine are too.
My oldest, yeah, Dad, can you help me pay my $6,000 dental bill? Yeah, I'll probably help you some. And the other one is like, Dad, I got enough money for 2 tires, but I need 4. Can you help me out? Yeah, okay. Anyway, that kind of thing.
Well,
So my
isn't one of
boys,
them engaged?
huh?
Isn't one
Yeah,
of them? Which one is that? The older or the younger?
that's the older one. So that's going to cost me a buttload of money.
For him to get married?
Yeah. You can't believe, I mean, even a modest wedding is going to run you, what, 15 grand?
But Todd, the groom's parents don't pay for the wedding. That's the bride's parents.
Well, I mean,
but even even the rehearsal party, the groom's supposed to pay for. The
rehearsal party, the groom's cake, the tuxedos, a bunch of that is still the groom's, so it's still going to run thousands. So
Fish says his father charges him to crash on the sofa when he visits him. Good morning, Fish.
I've got to get down. Fish is one of those millionaires over there on the East Coast that has a boat, and all he does is while away his time catching fish because he's so rich.
It's we've got to go to a wedding this weekend. We got going down to Myrtle Beach, and my nephew's getting married down there. And I bet you my sister-in-law is going to spend, and Janice, if you happen to see this, hey Janice, she probably will spend as much on the rehearsal party as the bride's parents will pay on the reception. Because it's always got to be across the. Good morning, Hell's House Paranormal, blah blah blah. Because she has to do everything over the top. When my parents had their 50th wedding anniversary, we decided that we were just going to have it at their church in the rehearsal part, in the eating and meeting room. It's a big room, banquet hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, banquet hall. And we were just
an activity center at our church.
Yeah. We were going to go get go get food and bring it all in, and and decorate a little bit. But my mom was like, "Don't spend a lot of money on it because we just want to see our friends." Because they had friends come in from all over the country for this thing. We ended up spending enough money by the time my sister-in-law got finished that we could have taken everybody to a sit-down restaurant and eaten. because my brother was a member of the club of a professional organization at the time, and they would go. They'd meet at a local steakhouse because they had a big banquet room. And he said, we could have fed everybody steak and still saved money.
Yep.
Good morning, Danos. So, it gets, I know it's a special day and all this kind of stuff, but, for Christ's sake, let's keep it, let's don't get carried away.
Yeah.
When I got married the first time, my mom had a friend of hers who was a caterer. She did all these heavy hors d'oeuvres,
Yep.
Because we had some people coming from out of town and, just people coming from work and all that kind of mess. They were going to have, they were going to need to have something besides cheese sticks and, crackers and cheese and sliced salami. So she had heavy hors d'oeuvres. Everyone I've gone to has just been, has not been over the top. But man,
yep.
My sister-in-law's got to do it right. See, when Sally's two boys get married, and if they have their brides need to have weddings or want to have weddings, she's just going to have to do like I tell mine. We're going to throw some Ritz crackers and some cans of cheese whiz, and I'm going to go get a couple of salamis and slice them up, and we're good.
I'm guilty a little bit also, when I went to get my iPhone 10 on Saturday, I said, no, I don't want one of those refurbished ones. I want a new one out the box, and of course I got the money to pay for it, but
right.
If I'm giving myself my own Christmas present, which that's what it is. Yeah. So sometimes I want the best. I guess sometimes I'm like, a ham sandwich is good. I don't have to have a steak.
I think I mentioned it the other day. We have this place called Ruth Chris here in Charlotte, and a steak is like $50 and up. There's not a steak on the face of this earth. I don't care who you are and who you say has one. That's worth $50 damn. I mean, really. And it's probably going to be the size of, 4 or 5 inches in diameter.
Yep. Yep. There's a group of folks we go with to the casino about once a year.
Yeah.
And they go a lot. So they got big comps at the fancy restaurant there, steakhouse. And even though he's got comps, I still wind up dropping $100 bill on Gwen and I. And that's with getting like a big percentage taken off because our friends have good comps. Anyway, it's not worth it.
I mean, I'm just not into it. A buddy of mine had to go to a meeting up in New York City, and the guy hosting the meeting took him to this restaurant, and he said it was $150 a person. And he said after they left the meeting and the dinner, they went to he asked the driver where the nearest pizza place was that had good pizza, and the Uber driver took him. He said, "You got time to eat? I don't want to eat by myself." So the Uber driver went in and they had pizza. He said, "I was starving time I left there," and the guy spent $150. He said, "Most people call those hors d'oeuvres." Good morning, Sally. How are you?
Hi, Sally. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm just a little tired today.
Sorry.
It's okay. I woke up at 1. I went to bed at 7.
Good morning,
So
Sherry.
this morning I did have a good sale.
What'd you sell?
Really?
I sold the gold chain.
Cool.
Oh, good. For how
Yeah.
much?
I caved.
You did?
Yeah, I wanted to get the gold value plus the wearability premium on top, but I didn't get
Right.
any premium. But I did get actual gold melt value, so $405.
Well,
Which on the one hand, you're like, dang, if this was in a jewelry store, they would have sold it for at least $700.
Yeah.
yeah.
But anyway, since
Uh,
I only paid 50 cents for it at a garage sale,
Yeah.
How do people let stuff like that slip through?
I
It
don't
just happens.
know. It was in a little bag like this, and how much is the jewelry? Oh, it's 50 cents a bag. Okay.
And you don't question it.
No,
Good morning, Animal
I
Papa.
mean, I picked it up and looked at it and found the 14K mark, and I was like, yeah, for 50 cents, I'll take a chance.
Good morning,
Mhm.
7 is enough. Yeah, Todd, a friend of mine is watching your channel. He doesn't subscribe to anybody's channels, but he has you saved on his links.
Oh, yeah.
He
Somebody watches my videos.
Yeah, still he watches the silver and gold stuff because he
Yeah.
and his wife. He's got one of these big gun cases, big gun vaults that
Yeah.
he keeps his pistols and his ammunition and his shotguns in and stuff like that. His top shelf is nothing but Ziploc bags of gold and silver that he's been buying and
Wow.
sticking up there.
Yeah.
And
Still got him a stack going.
yeah, he just um he and his wife, he's never been a yard seller, but now he's out looking for watches and gold jewelry and silver jewelry. He's found some good stuff like that bracelet you were just talking about, or necklace, whatever it was. He's found stuff like that, he's paid $1 for, and it's worth, eBay
Sadie.
value of $200 or $300. And but
Sorry,
he's
I'm
just
boring you, Sadie.
he's just
Hellfire, by the way.
yeah, how far, Mr. Sadie? He's just building up his net
Fire.
worth, he said. He's not interested in selling it right now, but he's building up his net worth.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to the estate sales and garage sales anyway, you might as well flip through the jewelry bags, and
Yeah.
I've proven it more than this. Isn't the only good piece I've found.
Right.
I don't find them often, but I find them enough times to make it worthwhile to sit down at the estate sale with a big bucket of jewelry bags and flip through it.
Good morning, DJ Mike.
See if they missed anything in it. Anyway, they haven't paid yet, so yeah.
Good morning, Joanna. I tell you what, I've sold 3 pair of boots in the last 4 days. And the last ones, the Levi boots, were black, and they went to California. I guess he's one of the, or he is, he or she is one of those help people that go hiking in the hills if they're not on fire.
I sold a really good pair of jeans yesterday.
Sherry, you can
I
send
got
me a message and
$27.
make me an offer. Just tell me it's you, Sherry, so I'll give you a discount.
You found a good pair of jeans, Sally?
Yeah, it was a pair of Levi's with red stitching. And they went for $27.
Plus shipping or shipped?
No, $35 altogether was shipping.
It's
So
Yeah, Joanna.
it was good for me.
Joanna, I need to find more James Avery. Seemed like I would find more of that around here because they're a big jewelry seller in Texas. Anyway, sorry to butt in there. I was yakking at Sherry.
That's all right.
Joanna.
We got to make them feel loved. They were Levi's. Didn't you say they were Levi's Red Stitch? Maggie
Yeah.
said, what brand, Sally?
Yeah, I wrote it in there.
But my friend, he's been watching down coin stackers and every damn thing else.
That's funny.
And he said he told his wife to stop by the bank and pick him up $1,000 worth of rolled dimes. He was gonna start going through those dimes looking for silver dimes. I told him, I said, man, you going big time, aren't you? He said, go big or go home.
I don't remember what color the tag was. Let me see. Let me see, you guys.
It's so Todd, you and Sally, do y'all just keep on hunting for stuff and listing all the way up to Christmas, or do y'all take a break? Or
Yeah, I jumped on board with Lonnie Garage Flips.
mm-hmm.
He started an 80-day challenge about the end of August,
Right,
and he's got a board that he writes dry erase marker on. So you put the amount of listings you make and and then the total, and then you keep a running total of how much you listed.
right.
And so we're like 65 days in. I've been doing it with him. So I got 3 pages here. Got about 12 days left. And then
what are you doing, Todd?
it's kind of a self challenge. Lonnie keeps a whiteboard, and he's kept a record.
Mm-hmm.
He's did an 80-day challenge, and it ends like in 12 days. What is that? Like the 1st of December, around in there.
Right.
And he wanted to get $32,000 worth of stuff listed. I was like, oh my God, I can't do that.
Oh shoot, Todd! With the stuff you list, you'll have it knocked out in no time.
Oh hell. Anyway, no, I'll be lucky to make it to 10.
Sherry, with that offer to do the anchor store for 2 months, you need to cancel within the first month. And when I say within the first month, I mean like before the first month is up, like the day before the first month is up. Because if you don't, then you're going to get prorated on the second month, you'll get prorated for the anchor store because they do a month ahead.
So anyway,
so
Tom,
you
I
only
brought up.
Sorry.
Go ahead,
Go ahead.
Sally.
Go ahead and finish, Sally.
I was just gonna finish just saying that it's, even though it says 2 months, you can only do it for a month because they're charging you ahead of time. So it's not a bad thing. And actually right now you would get the coupon So it would be a really good time to do it. Yeah, so you can get the shipping supplies coupon. I completely understand. If they gave it to me again, I would do it. Because just getting that shipping supply coupon, some people might say, "Oh, well, that's kind of taking advantage." I don't freaking care. I'm the one who's doing it, not you. So it's like, I would sign up for it, and then just make sure if you sign up today, make sure by the 19th of December that you cancel or go back to your other store. And but make sure you get your shipping supplies coupon that just came out, and then you'll get your shipping supplies coupon for the Anchor store. And then I can't remember, but you might even get one when you go back. I'm not sure. Maybe not. But at least you'll get those two. And just doing that would be worth it. As long as you can remember to cancel by, I would say, by the 19th of December. But it's definitely worth it, I think. Okay, I'm done.
So have you got your $32,000 listed, Todd?
No, I'm almost at 9,000. But I brought that up to say, as soon as I've been trying to stay pretty steady with Lonnie on getting listings up during those 80 days. So as soon as that's over with, I'm probably gonna. You asked if we were gonna go right up till Christmas, picking and listing. And I won't stop listing after the 80-day thing, but I'll probably slow down some.
Right. How much has Lonnie got listed?
Oh, he's up around 26, 7,000.
Dang.
No. 22 or 3,000. And he slowed down. He had a bunch of big ticket figurines that he got from his guy, and he put up some big listings early in the challenge, and he just barely meeting his daily. He has to put up something like $400 worth of stuff every day until the challenge is over with now, so he can reach his goal. And that gets hard with Thanksgiving. You're not going to work on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Nikki, I'll take scrambled eggs, grits, and some sausage links, please. She said she couldn't come in because her husband was taking her to breakfast.
Yeah, that sounds good for me too.
Yeah, I'm starving right now.
I came in. I got everybody in their appointed rounds. Sasha's at an orientation for a job this morning. So I got everybody where they needed to be at. And then I came home and I made me an egg and ham sandwich on toast. Sat down and listened to a few YouTube videos while I was eating. Speaking of YouTube videos, did anybody else see a video where someone had bought a bunch of post hole diggers at Walmart for like 8 cents or something like that?
No.
I haven't seen that.
Maybe I had a dream and that was in the dream. But I could have swore I saw something like that, and I thought I saved it, but I didn't. And I was going to go back and see what the gig was on that because I need a set of post hole diggers. I got to put down a new mailbox. And because I need a mailbox, I could put a little bit bigger box, like a box when I'm shipping stuff in.
Oh, that's what you put your stuff for shipping?
Yeah, regular mailbox. When I only got like one or two things that are, like a 8x6x6 box or something of that sort I can put into it.
Mm.
So I need a set of post holes diggers, and I don't know, Joanna. I saw, because I figured I'd get a response from her. There was, I don't know whether it was a clearance deal that they left on the shelf or what. I mean, it was some stuff they were supposed to pull and they left on the shelf or what. And I've been through and I've Googled because Google search engine, I mean, YouTube search engine sucks in the first place. But I've yet to find it. I'm hoping it'll come back in. I need to look at my history because I think I turned it on, but I didn't watch it all the way, or didn't watch but just a few minutes of it. Yeah. So I need to check on that. Good morning, Tommy.
Hi, Tommy.
I think I would retail arbitrage a whole lot more if I lived in the big city. It's just whenever we go over there, it's to go out to eat or to a movie or get something we need. It's not. I'm not over there regularly enough to keep tabs on what the good sales are going on.
Yeah, Joanna, my dad's got a pair. His shop burnt down, but he kept the handles cooked out of them. But he sanded them down or wire brushed them down with a wire brush on a drill. And then he went and got new post hole diggers, and those things. Okay, well, when you get out the tub, then come in and let me know, and I'll send you the link.
Thanks a lot, Tommy.
No, I don't have any of that kind of stuff, Joanna. But anyway, my neighbor and I were talking. Another neighbor, he's a young guy. He's like in his middle 20s. He was digging a hole and he broke his handle on his shovel, and he came over to borrow a shovel, and he said, I got to run to town and get another shovel. But I wanted to finish this before I went. And we're like, just get another handle. He said, you can buy handles for shovels? Yeah, go to Lowe's. They have a whole rack of them. You might want to take your shovel in there to make sure you get the right kind. But he's like, well, I didn't know that. Now there's this new crappy stuff they put out. You just about as cheap to buy another shovel. But if you got an old one that's a good one, you just keep replacing handles on them.
Mm.
And I told him, I said, hang on just a minute. And I went out to my storage building and got him a shovel because I probably have about 10 or 12 of them I got out of storage buildings, out of storage rooms, lockers.
Doesn't that look good?
What is that?
It's a chocolate chip cookie.
Oh, that does look good.
It has pot in it, though.
Oh, well, we're not doing that. That's against my religious convictions.
I almost had you.
You almost had me? Yeah. No, the religion doesn't have anything to do about it. It's just illegal in my state, and I just am too pretty to go to jail. Fat boys like me don't do well in jail. Sweetheart, you have got to go someplace else this morning. I really am not in the mood. Go lay by the heater. Bake.
It's been 30 seconds and she was already back up on
Yeah,
the desk.
she's like a teenage daughter. She don't pay me a damn bit of attention. Yeah, go look at Lowe's. They should have handles. Ours does down here. If they haven't taken them all down to put up the Christmas stuff. They're resetting all the stores in Charlotte. And
I know, I see your
hard head, as my dad used to say.
and she
Look out the
says
window.
here.
Go to sleep. They're resetting all the Lowe's stores here in Charlotte. And I went in there, I guess it was a month ago, and I was like, Christmas has come early, hadn't it? And the girl said, yeah, we just reset the store. And they went ahead and set the planogram for the Christmas season. And but I mean, it was poof, Christmas everywhere. And you know what? Some of those daggum inflatables are getting kind of pricey. They got like a $299 one in there that's a house with Santa sitting on top of it, holding his reindeer, and the reindeers are floating over here off the side of the house. Good morning, Craig. I sent you the link in Facebook if you wanted to come in, or are you out making your daily runs too? You know, Craig and I would make a good living if all these people that we haul around would, tip us a couple of dollars. When Roberta was out in Vegas, she had an Uber driver, and she said he was really good about when they left the airport was, do you need to stop anywhere to pick up anything? Take her does she need to go to a convenient, because he said there's a convenience store right down here on the right we can stop at. She's like, nope, I'm good. And then when she got there, she's like, son of a gun, I should have talked to him because the damn Pepsi's $6. $6. I said, that's not as bad as them $12 beers though that cost you $3.99 at the convenience store. There was a lot of people that did those Shopco buyouts. What's his name? Resale Rabbit. I think he bought a whole store.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the video. It's in a playlist I created. It's things I need to go back and watch. Yeah, Roxy, she knows how to yank my chain. As she goes wandering by, not paying me any attention. Look. Okay, lay down. Do not fall on my keyboard. I can't have you locking me up or kicking me out of this program. I didn't go to sleep. We've got one of those radiator style wool space heaters over here on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And the sunroom has like ceramic tile. I forgot what it's called. It's like the broken tile pieces. There's a name for it. Anyway, it heats up the floor around it. And I told her, I said, if it was me, I'd get me a pillow and I'd lay down over there and just lay right on the floor because it's so warm over there and go to sleep.
I have a dog that he is a heater hog. He will get on the heater vent that's on the floor, and it's metal.
Right.
And mind you, I can't have my feet up against it. It's so hot.
Right.
But my dog will lay right on that heater vent.
Back in the day, my brother had a kerosene heater in his den to help keep it warm. And so the furnace didn't run all the time. And they had a black cat that would lay right up in front of that daggum kerosene heater, and you couldn't pick the cat up. He was so hot. I mean, he was like on
Yeah.
fire, and he just
Right.
lay there.
Yeah. I don't know how my dog does it either. You'd think he'd burn his skin, but he loves it.
Yeah. No, Joanna, I don't like to drive. I couldn't be an Uber driver or a DoorDasher unless I absolutely had to have some money. It's which Roberta said, you'll be 62 this year. Can't you apply for partial retirement, Social Security? I said, I don't know. I haven't really been concerned about it.
I think 62.
Yeah.
I think you can.
That might have all changed. I don't know. I really haven't worried about it.
As far as I know, I think it's still 62.
Yeah, I need to go ahead and apply. There's not any reason not to, because if I wait until 67 or what the traditional time is, it's not going to be very much more, because they cut, even though I qualified for Social Security, because I get a teacher retirement check, the Social Security, they knock that way back, like 20, or like you only get like 5% of what you would if you did Social Security your whole life instead of teacher retirement.
Wow. Joanna, I think my dogs eat Purina. Ooh, excuse me. If I ever find anything that's on sale and it's something that my dogs don't usually eat, I'll mix it in with the regular food so they don't get sick or nothing. Because you're switching up your dog's cat's food, that'll make them sick. But if you do it, if you just take a little bit of food and mix it in every once in a while, it's like a little treat for them.
I buy variety of dry cat food, and I put it in a big container and shake it all up. So there's always a different flavor for my kitty cats.
Yeah. Yeah. What'd you find it on sale or something, Joanna? I heard that a lot of people like that dog food. Seems like it's healthy and stuff.
We mix Purina dry with Pedigree wet or can. About half and half. Half dry food and half canned food. Try to make that expensive canned food last a little longer.
She says Purina's good. My mother-in-law's dog died tragically 48 hours later after eating a serving from a new bag. Watch out, I think a whole run of it is mold contaminated. Huh. Of the Purina or the blue buffalo? Which one are you talking about? I've seen a lot of different things about different dog food and cat food and all that. And you never really know what's true, but there was this one guy that was finding, she said it was a blue buffalo. There was this one guy that was finding plastic pieces in
Are you on my phone?
in his dog food bag.
Right.
one person that was finding glass, like pieces of glass. I mean, you never know if they're looking to, to have their video go viral, or if, it's a real claim,
Right.
legitimate claim. Sorry, I keep yawning. I feel like I need a nap. I've had a freaking whole thing of coffee already.
Haven't you been on vacation?
Hell no. I'm just on
Oh.
days off right now.
Okay.
Did they ever get the donut maker situation straightened out?
Not yet. Oh, you mean has she been terminated? Yeah, she's been terminated. The one that sold all the cards?
Yeah.
Yeah, she got terminated.
Well, you also were talking about the person that was making the donuts. They
Yeah.
called out a couple of times, or is that the same
Mhm.
person?
No, it's a different person.
So if you live near Michigan and you want a donut making job, reach out to Sally.
I wouldn't just move here for the donut making job, though.
I was talking about like in in that area. I was 12, so that was a long time ago. That's when cars were real.
Mm.
We went to Michigan for a national camping club, and we went to Battle Creek where they make the cornflakes.
Mhm.
That was pretty cool. Sorry, that just popped in my mind. I don't know why.
That's all right.
That's just what happens. But it was the National Campers
Oh,
and
cool.
Hikers Association.
I sold something.
Woo.
It's I have a sister-in-law and a niece that are big into the animal adoption gig. Actually, my niece is the executive director of this organization. And someone got you ka-ching just then, didn't they?
Yeah, I just sold something.
They get a lot of donated food from busted bags from grocery stores and things like that they've built up relationships with. And they're real funny. They're real funny about what they feed their animals. It's got to be a good brand or they don't take it.
I mean, I think I worked at a veterinarian's office, for like almost 3 years. And
Get off of my
all we sold was Science Diet.
right.
Hill Science Diet. And so you're pushing it, when you work there, you're pushing it constantly. And I don't know. I mean, it was so expensive. And it's like, God, I don't know why people would feed their dogs this unless they thought it was like, transformative or something, because it was just so expensive. And I fed my dogs that dog food, a lot of the time and stuff too. But I got a good discount on it.
Right.
So that's the only reason. But I can't imagine, that would be like them, having a steak dinner every night or something. I don't know.
Right. Well, the last dog I had who abandoned me for my mother. Yeah. My mom would keep just for snack. She'd keep this, these big 5-gallon cans of popcorn. Well, she saved a container and she just filled it full of dry dog food and she kept it out on their back porch. Was um, covered, and it was actually they lived on the side of a hill, so you had to go upstairs to get up onto their deck, their back porch. And it was, like I said, it was covered, and it had a door that you had to go, like a gate, to get up the stairs to come up to their deck. So he could just open up the gate, and he'd come up and get him a snack. Any other meal, he got leftovers, which could be anything in the morning.
You're squilling, Todd.
Sorry.
That's right.
And
Here, is it better now?
no, you're still squalling.
Sorry. Better now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
just had to go to the other room for a moment.
Okay.
And of course, she cooks a real meal in the evening for my dad because he's got to have real food.
Mm-hmm.
So Yoda would get all the leftovers. They didn't live next door to me for about a month, and I never saw my dog. He was always on my mom's front porch. Then I moved away, and he stayed with her. Good morning, Chick Picker. Mama, how you doing today?
Mama Picker.
Mama Picker, that's it.
It's Mimi.
Well, no, she moved. It's Mama out here. The Mama Picker. Good morning, Dragon Lady, Philippines.
Hi, Carol.
Carol, the bargain shopper. Excuse me, bargain shopping. Anyway, Chick Picker, how's your sales going? You up to about 50 by now? Because she goes out of town and she starts selling.
Mm-hmm.
And then she comes back and she fusses because she's got all this stuff she's got to pack up.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that Carol meant to say Toby, not Tony. That Toby eats science diet. I'm not saying nothing about, bad about it. If you want to feed your dog like expensive dog food or whatever, go ahead. Because I can't afford to do it. And I know a lot of people, like a lot of people would get down on people that don't feed their dog science diet.
That's when you tell them, talk to the hand because the rest of you is not listening. And then if they want to get an attitude, you say, talk to the butt. Get real close to the butt and talk to it because the rest of my body's not listening to you. It's, you just gotta, if you buy discount stuff or, the cheapo stuff, then you get what you're paying for. But then again, feeding them scraps all the time, table scraps. Only 17. Well, you better get to doing Atlas, and y'all get out there and do the juju dance in the front yard. Toby. I have an outside cat named Toby.
I'm going to go see if I can find that tank top I just sold.
Go ahead. You going to model it for us?
No. I was just saying I want to see if I can get it packaged real quick so I can send it off.
Rock and roll, baby. Rock and roll.
Before my mailman gets here.
There was a lady at the Walmart yesterday, and it was cold outside. And believe me, I knew that because she had on nothing but a white tank top and some jeans. And that was about it. No bra. And she's kind of a full-figured lady. She needed some support, believe me. Is that Sally walking?
No, that's my steamer gurgling.
Oh, okay. I was like, is she a little Asian lady wearing, those wooden shoe things like the Japanese used to wear? Bumcrack must never sleep because he's always online. And I'm thinking, sometimes it's got to be 4:00 in the morning his time. And then a little bit later on, you see him, it's 9:00 in the morning his time. He must never sleep. Oh, no, Valerie. No. She shouldn't have been flaunting them. I expect to see her in, those videos they make of people that you see at Walmart. I expect to see her in the future edition of it. Has everybody gone in and clicked their little switch for their COPA settings on YouTube?
Not me.
Well, you need to go in there and do it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How is everybody today?
Just fine.
I'm running a little behind myself.
Hey, Mr. Sadie, I can't wear tank tops. This gun show ain't free. It took me a second there. Well, do you charge admission to that gun show? Let me, you my way, baby. Okay,
What are you doing, Tom? Picking on lady with a large front end?
Oh, she needed a bra on. All she had on was like a wife beater.
Hi, Bumcrack. How you doing? There's a lady that lives here, and she's like 60-some years old that does that. And it's like, oh, God, my eyes. Yeah. It's like, oh, come on, gravity has not been kind to you, lady. Come on.
At least 50 cents, Mr. Sadie. Hell far. If you're going to go for 50, you might as well go for $1.
It's like two bone-in hams fighting under a blanket, It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, and I talk about my full figuredness and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not body shaming nobody, but there's some people out there in this world, men and women, that need to realize you're about 50 years old. You're not 19 anymore. You need to cover up a little bit more.
Yep, the helium done leaked out of them balloons. It's time to face facts. They ain't staying up on their own no more.
Y'all want to see a cool piece of Americana?
Yeah,
Sure.
let me see a cool piece of Americana.
All right. Put me on the big camera.
Okay, hang on. I got to figure out how to do that.
Oh, that's cool.
This is...
Well, hang on a minute. Hang on.
Okay.
How did she do that?
I don't know. She couldn't
Something
figure
about
it out
right
either.
clicking or something.
Yeah, something about right click.
Okay. Solo layout. Right click, solo layout.
Yeah.
Okay, what you got there?
So I was in at a estate sale this weekend,
Uh-huh.
and this was just sitting out on one of the garage tables. And it's what it is. It's a Sweetheart pillowcase,
Oh, that's cool.
and I guess it fits like World War II era issued pillows.
Hmm.
And what would happen is a wife or a mother would go to the Camp PX and buy one of these and send it to their sweetheart.
Right.
It's got a little poem on it. This one's from Camp Hood, Texas. Now, I looked it up, and Camp Hood was changed to Fort Hood in 1951.
Hmm.
So I feel pretty safe saying this is World War II era. So, yeah,
That's cool.
it's probably not worth anything, and it's got a slit you stick your pillow in,
Right.
And yeah. The poem reads, I thought that you would like to know that someone's thoughts go where you go, that someone never can forget the hours we spent since first we met, that life is richer, sweeter far for such a sweetheart as you are. And now my constant prayer will be that God may keep you safe for me.
Oh, that's sweet.
It is. We have a Camp Green something here in town, but it totally it does not exist anymore. But it was a army base, and but it, like I said, it's closed up and been long busted up into a subdivision. Good morning, Chuck
Camp
Girl.
Hood, Fort Hood were tank brigades, and Fort Hood is still the most populated fort in the world. There's more people there for training and stuff than any other army camp in the world, or any military camp.
Right.
Air Force, Marines.
Oh. Are you still there, Tom?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Todd was doing show and tell
Oh, okay. I didn't even see you.
because Lori's in here now.
Oh. Ha.
Hello. Yep. Dragging behind as usual.
I feel like a big behind.
You feel like you're behind or a big behind?
A big
My
behind.
ass is dragging so much it's got road rash.
Well, you need to go to bed earlier. Like we were just talking about, you got to really remember that you're not 19 years old anymore,
I know.
even though y'all are a lot younger than me. And even a lot more younger than Todrick.
Mm-hmm.
Tom thought my steamer gurgling was you walking around in Japanese shoes, Sally.
I'm like, is that Sally walking? You know what I'm talking about? Is the wood shoes? It's got like the two pieces of wood that comes down, like in the front and the back. And when you see movies, you hear them clunking around on those hardwood floors. That's what I thought it was.
That's funny.
I thought, well, dang, she's. Good morning, T-Town. How are you?
Hi, sister.
Glad you could make it in this morning.
Can you hear it gurgling?
Yeah, a little bit.
Tom thought you were clunking around on Japanese.
You might hear my dryer
wooden
too.
shoes.
Hi, Jennifer Hayes.
Where's she at?
Jennifer. T-Town. What's T-Town, Gambler? T-Town.
Good morning, Jennifer.
Tuscaloosa. Um,
I thought you.
Mr. Say says, damn, it's after 9. All I've done is change a light bulb.
I thought you had a gig at a vegetable wholesaler or something, Mr. Sadie. Did you get that new boat and you decided that you were going to retire so you could fish when it was good weather?
Fishing. Yeah, that's my bong gurgling. I got a big breath. It's going constantly.
Like there was a movie. There was like a geared towards teenagers, college age kids, and this one, they were at college. This boy walked over to his neighbor's room, and he had like weed in his not humidifier, or maybe just humidifier. Put steam into the air. Anyway, he had it in his humidifier, so it was just going everywhere in the room. That's Todd. He's got him a continuous feed over there. Good morning, Kethal. If that's pronounced right. And Maya. Good seeing you too.
Remember that scene in The Right Stuff where they had to keep a ping pong ball afloat by blowing their air into a tube?
What was that?
That movie, The Right Stuff, about the first astronaut?
Oh, yeah.
One of their medical tests was just check their lung capacity, and
Hi, Mary.
they had to keep a ping pong ball afloat in a glass tube by blowing through a tube into it.
Sort of like that.
Well, that's a urinal. What are you talking about?
No, it's not either. You blow into this, and it just
Yeah, the respirator.
Barometer.
Yeah,
you blow
respirator.
into it. When Roberta was having some issues, she had to do that like
Breathing treatments, yeah.
Yeah, a dozen times a day.
They made me do it after my back surgery. Before they would let me leave, I had to get that ball up a certain.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess because I had to lay so long, they were making sure I didn't have pneumonia from having to lay so long afterwards.
The last time that came from the last time Roberta was in the hospital. You remember the days where you couldn't walk out of, if you're a patient, you couldn't walk out of a hospital on your own steam. Somebody had to wheel you down to the front. That's long gone.
Really?
Yeah, Roberta's. I guess it's based on the situation, the actual patient. But they said it's going to be about 30 minutes before somebody come up and get you to wheel you down. And Roberta said, "Well, can Tom wheel me down?" And she'd had the same nurse the whole time while she was in there. She said, "Well, Tom can hold your hand, and you can just walk on down if you want to." And we're like, "Really?" She said, "Yeah." So I grabbed up her shoulder bag and threw it over my shoulder, and her purse over my shoulder, and grabbed her by the hand, and we went walking down the hallway to the elevator.
Mr. Shea says he's going to do a video today or someday on the journey of a potato from field to store.
Cool.
You should do it today.
Get a Mr. Potato Head to do some demonstration with.
And if y'all wanted to take a second, hit that thumbs up button, I'd appreciate it.
I already did it.
I've actually got 30 people in here watching this Horse and Pony show this morning. That's
Thumbs
doing
it
it
up.
for me. You know, when Valerie and Sally has it, it's like, 50.
Whatever. My most watched video is I just seen it yesterday. It was my singamajig.
Huh?
It's called a singamajig, and it was a Mickey Mouse that I got out of the dumpster.
Oh.
And it had an O-shaped mouth.
Okay, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you squeeze its belly and it goes, it sings, like it changes its mouth movements and stuff, and it sings. And as you squeeze its belly. And it is the funniest thing, but that's the most, I think I have over 1,000 views on it.
Wow. You go.
My mouth does that when people squeeze my belly too.
Pillsbury Doughboy.
Okay, I'm gonna run this outside.
Y'all say hello in the chat, because we got a bunch of new people in here, and
Hello.
so they can check out your channel.
Oh. Okay. Come on, let me type something.
Lori, a friend of mine's got teenage daughters, but the youngest one is like 14, and she had some girls over this a couple of weekends ago, and one of them brought a Ouija board, and they were doing the Ouija board thing. And my friend said, "Tom, I'm the real. Everything's got a reasoning for happening." He says, "That damn weekend shit's been going on at my house. I can't figure out." I said, "Well, I got a friend in Ohio that'll come down here and see what she can find out, but she gets those expenses get kind of expensive." He says, "Well, if it keeps happening, you're gonna have to give me your number." And
I will not touch a Ouija board. If there's a Ouija board on location, I won't go.
He said, "It's probably just my mind, but
it could be.
Stuff is happening." And I said, "Well, you know what? I was told by a friend years and years ago, because she was taught by her grandmother how to use one, and actually she had her grandmother's Ouija board, and that sucker was like from 1910 or something of that sort." She said, "You can't play around with them things. You got to do it, because you got to make sure that door is shut before you log off," as she put it, because stuff can keep on coming through. But he said he went in there, and the girls were sitting around in a circle with that Ouija board and a candle, and he said, "What are y'all doing?" And he said, "You put that thing up right now."
I mean, it started out as a game, but I think one of my theories is because it's always young people that are impressionable that are playing with it, that the other side, so I like to call it, figured out that, hey, we can use that to our advantage, and that's why it became what it is today, because it's, young people, they don't think about stuff like that. Kids, their minds are like, blank slates. And so in my theory, I'm thinking that's how it got to be what it is, because now they know that whoever uses it, they can use it as a tool to cross back and forth.
Right.
But it started out as a game, as a harmless game, until one of the darkness, I guess you would call it, demon, whatever you want to call them. Everybody has a different name for them. Figured out that, hey, we can use this. We can wreak havoc by using this as a portal, because these young, impressionable, spongy minds
Right.
that are opening this door for us to come through. And here, they're like, "Oh, this is so cool! Did you see that light come on, or that candle flicker out, or whatever?" Because I think it started out in the 1800s as a game,
Right.
or even further back than that. So, but I won't touch one. I will not. We've been called into a business location, and I always had my son walk through because he was kind of like security and check stuff to make sure it was safe for us to be in there. And he said, "Mom, you're not going to want to be in there." I said, "Why?" And he said, "There's a Ouija board in the back storeroom." I said, "You tell them to get it out. If they don't get it out, we're not coming." And they wouldn't take it out. I said, "We're gone. We're out of here." I pulled the whole team, everything. So we're not dealing with it. You guys open this door. Now you're going to have to figure out how to close it.
Wow.
I won't put my team in any kind of danger that has anything to do with that side of the paranormal because it's dangerous. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
I just won't do it.
It goes back to the 1880s is when that thing,
Yeah.
when it became a party game, or
Right.
which during the Victorian era, they were big into all of that.
Oh yeah, spiritualism and everything.
Yeah.
But now it's a dangerous tool that, if used improperly, it can open up doors that you cannot close. Not without the help of a clergy of some sort. Seen it happen, and I won't partake in anything that has to do with the Ouija board. I don't even like going into the stores because I know they're in there. But they've not been opened. But if there's an opened one, nope, won't do it.
Yeah.
It's I mean, there's a lot of people that just believes in it's kind of a game. I mean, it's just a game.
Mm-hmm.
But they should be watching some of these movies. If you have especially teenagers,
Yeah.
some teenager's going to die when you get that thing out. Don't you watch movies?
Yeah.
or even documentaries or anything that has to do with that. I do not mess with it.
Valerie was with my cousin, and they burned my cousins.
Can't burn them.
And it screamed.
We when I was about 14, that's when I got my first experience with one. We were at a friend's house, and they had it out. And her parents were religious. Her parents were. It wasn't Teresa. It was another friend of mine whose parents were like Pentecostal. Well, she'd heard about it and thought, well, I'm going to get one. While they're gone, we're going to play with it. And I'd never heard of it. I'd seen it on the shelf, didn't pay attention to it because I was, kid. And we were in there, and they started playing with it, and the lights started flickering. I thought, somebody's here messing with us, And the one girl went into like I wouldn't say it was a trance. It was almost like a seizure type thing. And she started foaming at the mouth. It scared the living shit right out of me.
Yeah.
And everybody's screaming, and the girl takes the board outside, puts it in. Dad had a big 55-gallon drum that he would burn leaves in because it was out on a farm. Threw it in there. One of the boys threw gas on it, and they set it on fire. And we all went back in the house, and we were in the kitchen, and all of a sudden, the one girl, they had called the squad for her, but once the board was out of the house, she was okay. So she was being taken care of and all that. We're all sitting in there just freaked out, All of a sudden we hear, "Oh my God." And there it laid on the table where they were playing with it. And it was charred, but it was laying right there. And
wow.
I think
nobody will take claim of pulling it out of the fire. But the fire was still going in the drum. So either somebody burnt themselves getting it out of there to play a prank on us, or it found its way back onto that table. And from that day on, I won't touch them.
First of all of a sudden, boys appeared into this story.
Yeah.
So,
well, it was a farm. We were kids.
I'm sure there was some Ohio River stump water around there somewhere.
What?
I bet there was some Ohio River stump water around there.
We were only like 14. I knew what that was because my dad used to make that stuff. But anyway. So, but yeah, it was one of those typical teenage goofy get-togethers where the parents are gone and we run amok. That's just how it goes. So, but yeah, it freaked us all out. And people, when I see him today, we still talk about that,
Right.
how creepy that was.
Mr.
I remember fishing
Bishop
and picking. Yeah, he had a housekeeper that cleans their beach house, and she was claiming that a ghost was raping her, and so he had to get a new housekeeper because
Wow.
he he didn't know if
claim
it
any
was
ghosts
going to
on his
turn on
taxes?
him or what. Yeah, he doesn't claim any ghosts in his taxes, but it was more than that. He didn't want to get framed for
Right.
maybe she was thinking that it was him or
That's crazy.
yeah.
Well, she could have sued the ghost for discrimination. I mean, for sexual harassment. Demons be gone. Mr. Sadie, what kind of printer do you have? A fish. She could have found those bottles that you left down there in your beach house and had her a few drinks. So
Odd, we're talking about demons, and here I am looking at a Bible I bought at the thrift shop for $5.
hold that back up. Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah, it's got the cover is by Greg, Gregg. Original designs by Greg, and this is just says Old and New Testament, King James version. But yeah, it's nice.
Grandma Magic Classics, is that mold as in the thing that you fill it full of metal and it makes the shape of the spoon, or are we talking about stuff that grows on the spoon?
I think it's the latter. Yeah.
I had a good sale yesterday, so quick Miller
Yeah.
antique spoon mold.
Why did it take you 2 hours to get home from the corner bar?
Because he was very happy that night.
Oh.
Oh, okay. You use a regular full size laser printer.
Okay. I get you.
Keep making right turns, you'll end up in the same place. Yeah. It's another right turn.
Well, UPS doesn't make any left turns, and they save billions of dollars a year in non-accidents happening.
This one's got somebody's name in it and their telephone number.
Cool.
I guess it was highlight. Do they sell if they got highlight in them? Somebody's highlighted a few verses.
I have sold several Bibles that have been written in or highlighted or underlined or whatever.
Should I black out the guy's telephone number? It's got his address too.
I'd just leave it just like it is.
Okay. Well, maybe they'll get a call. I don't know how old, I don't know how good that number is still, but
Just don't put personal information in your listing.
Yeah. My mom had a friend that collected old family Bibles. You know, the big thick ones that would sit like out on the coffee table in the front parlor.
Yeah. Knock somebody out with.
Down south, they'll sit out on the coffee table in the front parlor. But she collected those, and she had some old ones. And when she passed away, I have no idea what happened to all of them. I need to reach out to her daughter. Yeah, if you go to a Walmart, a good Bible will cost you $25.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to like a Christian bookstore, man, they've got some in there that's $50 to $100 in there.
Well, this is just the cover's a lot nicer than the Bible. The Bible is like it's not really leather, but it looks like a vinyl,
Right.
and it's a reference giant print King James version from World something or other, probably World Press maybe.
Yeah.
This is World.
Put RL in the title for red letter and stuff.
Yeah, there's a little bit of there's some red lettering in it.
Not gonna get rich selling Bibles, but they're worth picking up. Yeah. If you just haven't got any more Go Watches to sell, then throw in a few Bibles.
Yeah, maybe get out your watches, Mary.
Mr. Sadie's talking about acting the food will destroy your fool will destroy your life. A friend of mine's a Charlotte. He's a CMPD, Charlotte Metro Police Department. Anyway, he was. He always has a good story when I talk to him. If Patty and Tessa are in here, they'll know where I'm talking about. On East Independence, which is now like an expressway, they've got concrete medians running down the middle. He said the guy decided he went past his exit. He decided he was going to bust a big U-turn. Well, he made that U-turn right into a concrete median at about 75 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
And he said the man was so drunk that he could not get out of the car. And they sent him to the emergency room because that car was destroyed. And the doctor, he was getting some police information from the doctor for his report, and the doctor says, "I don't know how he's still breathing." He said he should be dead from as much alcohol as in his system. So Mr. Sadie, drinking's bad. Or should I say drinking in large quantities is bad. Grandma Magic Classics is Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mary. Everybody else is Mary, but when you get down to my neck of the woods, it's Mary. Good morning, Pinoy Ahoy. Did I say that right? I was kind of rhyming it. Where the heck is Cara at? She should have had the kid at school by now and should be here.
I'm about to invest in some hand warmers
Why?
because it's cold over here. I don't have any heat over here. 50 some, almost 50 degrees, but still.
I hope you have water over there.
Huh?
Do you have water over there?
I live right next door, so I don't need any of that. This is my warehouse area, warehouse trailer.
Well, you need to get you a.
I have a heater. I just don't have it plugged in right now.
Gosh, you got over 4,000 listings.
Have you tried to call? You have the Anchor store, don't you, Mary? Why don't you try to call your customer support person and see if they can take a look at your store, make sure everything's okay.
Now, do you have the blue door or the red door?
I see a red door and I want to paint it black.
Blue door is proceed with caution. Red door means stop. Y'all got a bunch of big plans for Thanksgiving. Y'all all staying home. You hitting the road.
I'm staying home and cooking a big old turkey for all my turkeys.
How many kids do you have?
I just have two, but I've got all the surrogate kids that show up too. So got their significant others and children, and that's fine with me.
A good friend of mine in high school, his parents were foster parents. As long as I can remember, they were foster parents. So when his mother died, there must have been 300 of her children there. She had all these foster children that drove in from everywhere.
Mm,
And then when his father died, there was just as many there. Plus, foster grandchildren now and all that kind of stuff. My friend said there was always foster brothers and sisters at the house, because they took them in left and right. But they also had a big old garden in the back of back of their property, so they put up vegetables all summer long. So they never feeding them was not a problem. Throw out a couple of quarts of green beans and a little bit of fat back, and you good to go. How about you, Todrick? You going to go to your mom's house? Your mom coming to you? The boys coming home?
Mom's leg has been hurting her, so we may have to go up there for part of it, but we're planning on doing the main meal, having the boys down from the big city and whoever they want to bring with them, if anybody, and we'll have a big meal here, and then we'll probably go to Mom's and have another big meal there.
There she is.
mm.
I knew if I used her name in vain, she'd come busting in here.
Why? I just got home. Why did you talk about me?
Yeah, I said, "Where's Tara? She should have thrown the boy out at school by now."
Oh, I stopped at the thrift store on my way home. And then I did the dishes, so I really wasn't listening. Hey, quit barking.
Just think, you might, one day another one might show up, so you'll have.
No. Next one that shows up, I'm going to tell him to get the hell out of here. The next one's on his own. No, I don't got none.
There's 37 bones from here across.
It's goofy.
Yeah, she's chewing on the exact same kind of bone.
Just give him one.
I can't get along.
Just give him another one so he shuts up.
Oh, he's in Massachusetts. Pinoy Ahoy. Okay, I'm gonna tell you my Massachusetts story here now. We went up to it's like 1994, not 1894 before anybody gets funny. 1994. We went up, our best friends and Roberta and I went up to Massachusetts, and we stayed in Lee, Massachusetts, which is just inside the state line. And then we drove over to the coast and went whale watching and whatnot. Well, while we were over near Salem, we did the witch thing at Salem.
Mm-hmm.
We went to a restaurant because they had a lobster special for $19.99 or whatever. So we went over to it, and my wife doesn't eat seafood, and neither does Chris's wife. Whatever they ordered. And Chris and I said, we'll have the lobster special. And they came out with these two huge lobsters and then a baked potato and a salad. And we're like, this is the special? And they said, yes, sir, that's the special. And I said, this will cost us $100 in Charlotte. And she says, well, there's a boat right over there that brings them in every day. And I said, well, that's good. And then we ate them out. But lobster's a lot of work. But anyway, that's my Massachusetts story. And we went to an armory. I can't remember what the name of the town was. But anyway, it was a cool place to go. They talk funny up there.
Funny. Can you imagine what they think of your accent?
Yeah.
Well, it didn't really matter what they think of my accent because we were laying down the cash, you know.
Yeah, they're probably like, oh, here's one of those rich Southern gentlemen. Quick, get all his money.
Yeah. Well, the girl, our server, actually, she was from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. She married a Massachusetts boy. She said, "Where y'all from?" And I said, "Charlotte." And she said, "I'm from Winston-Salem." And she'd lose that Southern accent when she was talking to everybody, you know. But then when she was talking to us, she was like, "How y'all doing?" Between that and cutting family members of my life due to drama, won't tolerate it. Yeah, the drama is just destroying people's families. Christmas shopping is going to be easier, less people to buy for, and no more money. That's what you do say. I just don't have no money this year. Y'all just going to have to take my love as y'all's Christmas present.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. One of my sons wants a $700 phone.
Oh boy.
I said, "You ain't getting it."
You could adopt me if you're buying $700 phones, Tom.
No, I said, "You're not getting it."
No doubt.
Don't count on that one.
One
I think my
hand,
mom said she used to date a man named Tom Hawks. Yeah, yeah.
one
It was
hand.
back in the early 70s.
In my early 70s, I was a teenager. I was not even.
Yeah, my mom would be older than you.
Oh, okay, we're not doing no DNA testing now, okay?
Oh my
Oh,
God.
great. That'd be a show, hey? I'm a reseller, and I found out another reseller is my dad. The drama. The reunion.
Honey, this is my 40-year-old daughter.
I'm 46. Thank you very much.
Will it still work? I'd be 16.
How old were you in 73?
Oh, in 73.
1973.
16.
Oh, okay. My mom would have been 10 years older than you.
Well, I always liked older women.
There you go.
They'd buy me. When I was 17, I had a 21-year-old girlfriend, and I caught the most grief for that.
You know,
I can imagine.
It was like
Yes.
she's got to take you home. She got to take you home because your curfew's 10 o'clock.
Well, I'll tell you, when Jim was married to his first wife, his brother-in-law got married, and I don't know if she was pregnant when they got married, but for whatever reason, Jim spent the night at their house, and the school bus stops at the end of the driveway and picks up his brother-in-law's wife because it was her senior year of high school.
Oh my God.
Oh Lord. Senior year of high school.
Yeah. And I think she was pregnant too.
Man, that's not happening these days. It does happen these days, and they're a lot younger than senior year of high school.
Yeah. Well, play with fire, you're gonna get burned.
How old is your youngest boy, Mr. Sadie? He's not going to answer that. So has the boy hit you up for his Christmas list yet, Tara?
No, he's hard to shop. Like we just got off his birthday.
Right.
He's really hard to shop for. I mean, like, what do you want? He's like, I don't know, just get me coins. He likes like these they do like on eBay, you get these grab boxes of coins, and then he likes getting like foreign coins and going through them and stuff. So he likes that. But I mean, like, I don't know, he's really hard to shop for right now. So we bought him a pellet gun, this is his birthday was just last week, so I bought him a pellet gun, a slingshot, a ninja throwing star, and something else. He likes a lot of destructive devices right now, but he's hard to shop for. I'm like, what do you want for Christmas? He's like, hey, some coins would be fine. I'm just like, oh god, grief.
Well,
Anyway.
you ought to get Uncle Todd to put you together a good box.
Well, he likes coins and destructive devices, I can tell you that.
I think that's Lori that has the power keyboard, Tessa.
I'll send him a pistol and a
Is that
silver dollar.
No,
There you
not me.
go. Yeah, he'd like that.
Now Beth has a keyboard that you can tell. Beth sounds like she's killing her keyboard when she types.
Yeah, Beth is like,
Yeah.
ow, that kind of hurt.
What you gonna get Jimmy boy for Christmas this year?
We don't buy each other Christmas presents. I only buy Christmas presents for my son. That's my rule. I mean, me and Jim are tossing around getting a TV for ourselves, but I don't know, because if we really want something, we just go get it. So I can't say, oh yeah, this would be like really great if you just would get this for me. So we're just not that way. I don't know.
Well, if Brandon wants something, we just
No, like for you, he asked, what am I getting you for Christmas? And I'm like, nothing.
if I want something, I go to the store and buy it. I'm a grown ass man. I don't depend on my parents to like buy me stuff.
Oh.
She's
I've
not
been, I've been
preparing.
working. Well, I've been working since I was 11 years old, so I don't really. If I need something, I just go buy
I
it.
don't know. We're at this age too where it's like we don't need to. I mean, there's like stuff maybe I'd like to have, but I mean, it's not stuff I'm gonna get for Christmas. So I just don't want to have like, I don't know. My life is surrounded with junk, so I don't really need more junk.
She's gonna get you that new F-350 that you've been wanting for Christmas.
I wouldn't want an F-350. That would be him because I'm a Chevy person.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah, I do want that. F-350.
Yeah, Jim wants an F-350, but yeah, I'm a Chevy person. Thank you very much.
Chevy, the car manufacturer can't keep paint on their hood.
I
Well,
got new,
What was it about 1980s? All the trucks in 1980s could not. The Chevy paint would come off the hood. So
Well,
I don't remember.
Dodge
that.
was running into the same thing. Yeah, it
Or
was
silver.
one of the chemicals used in paint. The drying agent, or the whatever you call it. You know what you thin paint with? I forgot what you call it. It's what evaporates and leaves paint behind. He
Right.
leaves the dry paint behind. That chemical they were replacing with something that was like alcohol or water based or something, and they had not perfected it for painting on metal yet.
It's like my
Ew.
sister had was it the 84? It was the Trans Am. It was
Ooh.
the same model as the Kit
Ooh.
car,
That
from
was a
the
bad
Oh.
year.
Knight Rider.
Yeah,
She had
Yeah.
the
I
she
had
had the
that car
silver
too.
she had the silver one with the eagle on the hood. And my dad took it to steam clean it and clean it up for her and stuff when he had to pick me up from practice.
Oh no.
And I'm sitting out there and I'm like, this Trans Am pulls up. I'm thinking, that looks like my sister's car, but the whole paint off the hood was gone. The
Oh
whole
no.
hood. He said he went to spray it and it just peeled up. Just the whole thing just peeled completely off that hood. He said he'd never seen
Oh
nothing
my
like
God.
it before. I was like, drop me off at the house before you take it home because I do not want to be in her presence when she sees that.
Wow.
Oh,
I had a
they were livid. He
I
said,
had a
"Oh, I know,
1990
they come off in one big sheet."
Yeah. I had a 1990 Caravan. You'd be driving down the road. That paint had come off the hood in pieces the size of a paper plate. They hit the windshield, almost get you in an accident. It's huge hunks of paint coming off the van. But it was across the. I don't know if Ford ran into it at all, but I know Dodge and Chevy or GM both got hit bad with it.
It's do you remember? I don't know. Y'all are so young. Y'all probably don't. When Smokey and the Bandit came out,
Oh my God, that's my favorite.
Yeah, now that's a Trans Am.
you know what? We went to the movie and we came out of that movie, and everybody, it didn't matter if you was driving a 1969 Ford LTD. They were tearing that rubber up coming out of that parking lot.
She traded that Trans Am in for a new one, a newer one. It was white with T-tops and it had a 350 in it. That sucker was fast.
Why do you think Brandon named this hound dog Buford? Because of Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, I love that car.
Brandon's really into smoke. We keyed him up to it, and he just loved it. He was watching it like 5 times a month.
Then he wanted to watch that movie Convoy with Chris Christopherson. Well, I don't know if you ever watched that movie, but it's not like Smokey the Bandit at all. It's kind of dark. So anyway, yeah, he didn't like that one as well. He likes Burt Reynolds' humor.
I like the first Smokey. I didn't like the other ones.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
We had to watch
Down
Convoy.
used to be a distraction.
Yeah, when they started having to save a pregnant elephant, it was
Yeah.
not as good anymore.
Well, that might have been the third one.
And I think that was the third one with that stupid pregnant elephant thing. I'm just like, this is lame.
Because the second one had Burt Reynolds in it too.
Yeah.
And then it was just Jerry Reed and Dom DeLuise.
Yeah.
Dom DeLuise was not that believable as an Italian gynecologista.
Oh, yeah.
My performance vehicle at that time was a Mustang Mach 2. A Mustang Mach 1 Mustang 2 with the 302 V8 and with positive traction and a 4-speed.
Ooh.
That's nice.
And that sucker would fly because it was so light. A buddy of mine at school had one because we both got them our senior year. He had a black one. I had a white one. And several times I saw that Mustang sitting on the side of the road with a patrol car behind it. And neither time was him. One time it was his father, and one time it was his mother. Because his dad's like, I didn't know the damn thing would run that fast. It's a little old Mustang wannabe. But his was geared the same way as mine was. And those little cars would fly. Now you look at them, I look back at them. My oldest son likes a Japanese anime series called Initial D. And it's a little, the car in it's a little Toyota Corolla is what would be the United States version of it. And anyway, we were looking at cars and looked back at that Mustang too. It was not that pretty of a car. But I had a lot of good times in that thing.
My first car was a 1974 Vegas Sport.
Vegas Sport. Oh man.
Had shiny leather interior. Of course, when I got it, it was delivered on a flatbed because my brother decided he gave me the car for graduation and had it delivered because he couldn't get the carburetor back together on it. So that was my summer project with my dad, was getting that back on the road. So
That's one of those cars that has a bad rep. But I had several friends that had those things.
they
And
was
for
it
it
was fun.
to hold together the way they drove,
I loved mine. It was
it had to be a good little car. With one of them, Gwen had 2 speeds: stop and wide open.
that's yeah.
And 86. That's right, Hank.
My first car was a 1959 Ford Fairlane, 6-cylinder, 3-speed shift on the steering wheel column, and that
3 on
car,
the tree.
yeah, it would
Yeah.
not go fast, but it weighed about 180,000 pounds. And a friend of mine once backed his Maverick into it and just tore the crap out of the back of his Maverick. I mean, busted taillights and bent trunk and fenders.
Oh my God.
I just went out to my car and wiped his paint off of my fender. And everything was fine.
Take the broken plastic up off the floor.
Yeah. So we called our parents and said, "Hey, Minaj," he's a little Indian kid that had immigrated. Anyway, Minaj had backed his Maverick into my car, and what should we do? Well, get the police out to do a report. And they came out and did a report. And Ford Fairlane, no damage. Maverick, yeah, we got a trunk, we got a bumper, we got a fender, we got 2 taillights, we got.
Just pull it out.
Where's the? No, I'm surprised you didn't say. Where's the other car that was involved in the?
Well, I could tell it was my car because I had brown paint from his car on my puke green car.
Oh, okay.
You know that puke light green?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It. One of the guys I went to high school with, he had a Mustang. Not a Mustang. He had a Maverick. Was it a Hugger? It was a Maverick something. It had a special name like that. And it was built to the daggum gills. It had a 3-speed in it. It would fly. That was another one, unless you got the performance versions of them. People were always talking about what a crappy car they were. I'd love to have a Maverick right now for my boys to drive.
A friend of mine had a Maverick. It was a nice looking car.
Do what?
I said a friend of mine had a Maverick. It was a nice looking old car.
They're all steel.
Mhm. My brother-in-law had a couple of years ago. He sold it, but he had a 1971 454 gold-plated engine Chevelle SS, and that trucker, the whole engine was gold-plated.
Wow.
And because it was a show car, he'd start that car up, and you can just feel, you'd be standing next to it and feel it in your belly as it boom, 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 boom. I mean, he let me drive it one time, and that was it. He's like, because I drove it like I stole it.
I was just at an auction Saturday where they auctioned off a '73 Chevelle. So
It was beautiful. It
cool.
was black with gold racing stripes.
this was kind of it could have used a repaint. It was like this goofy, like faded out sky blue.
My car that I want is a '69 W30 Hearst 442 Olds. That's convertible. That's the car I want to have someday. But they had one on Facebook for $2,500, but there was no title and no engine. I'm thinking, I don't want one I have to build from the ground up. I want one I can just jump in and go. At least drivable. I don't care about the paint job because I can do that. But
We got a Jaguar XJR about 10 years ago. And I took that thing up to 145 miles an hour one time, and it scared me so bad I didn't.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to go that fast.
I did not try to see how much faster it would go than that. That was plenty for me.
Jim, we used to be on the fire department, and somebody up in Wisconsin was selling, I think it was like a 76 or something Corvette Stingray. But it had been in the garage for a while. It hadn't been driven. This guy wanted to buy it, took it out. Oh, it was a 50s of that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So he takes it out to drive it. How fast did you think he got it up to?
Oh, it was over 100 miles an hour, and he T-boned an old man was pulling out in a Mercury Marquis, like a early '80s Mercury Marquis. I don't know, that's the same body as the Crown Vic squad car, the 4-door that they had in the early '80s. Yeah, I mean it was a big tank. Well, this Corvette hit it. There was not a piece aside from the motor and the transmission and the seat the guy died in. There was not a piece of that car that was bigger than a 50-cent piece. The fiberglass just exploded into these little pieces, and he went about 800 feet, and he hit a tree about 30 feet up, and then in the seat, because the seat came out of the car, so he takes his ride in the seat, hits the tree, and then winds up at the bottom of the tree, and then he lived about 20 minutes. But anyway,
But not conscious 20 minutes.
No. But here's the weird thing about it was I was talking to the old man in the Marquis, and we're joking around and stuff. I'm helping hold the door, for the EMTs to pry them out. And it's like, they're like, okay, well, we got this or whatever. We're just going to lift the dashboard and pull them out if you want to go help those guys. So I'm like, okay. Well, I go over to the other guys. It's the other guy who's expiring. So, I mean, there's nothing going on there. But then I come back to the old guy in the Mercury Marquis. His femoral artery had been cut, I guess. And the car dash was holding it together. And when they pulled up the dash to extricate him, he passed. He had heart failure. So it's I really thought he was going to make it. I mean, his car really didn't have that bad of damage. But anyway, the point of the story is don't take out a car that's been sitting in a garage for, years and then expect you're going to go drive it over 100 miles an hour.
Right.
Something broke, on it because it was an old car. You got to remember your old cars. They're not like they just rolled out of the showroom. That was really dumb.
My neighbor down the street got his son his first car. It's a '73 Super Beetle. You tell him when he comes. Anyway, it was
I'm not brave enough to go over 100. Honestly, I don't even like going 100. I'm an old person.
I had a 1970 Catalina 2-door hardtop. Had the 350, didn't have the 440. Had the 350 in it. But I mean, that thing, you'd peg that thing at 120. You wouldn't even have to think about it, and it still had plenty of room. It shook a little bit when you cracked like 110. It would get a little bit of a vibration, but then you get over that, and it just kind of smooth out. But these littler cars, I don't think they're made to go that fast anymore. They don't handle as well as those old big 70s, those early 1970s cars. I thought they handle a lot better at high speed than the new ones.
My best car when I was young was a '70 Buick Skylark.
Yeah.
350 motor and a 4-barrel carburetor and dual exhaust, and
that's pretty much the same setup. But that's the same car as the Catalina. It's just the other division.
Yeah, Monte Carlo is a whole lot the same.
Yep.
And that car would go fast. I took it up to 121 time, and
boy, you're a regular speed racer.
Well, you're one big prairie.
I
told a friend about it, and they told my dad, and my dad was pissed off that I would take it that fast. So
Todd's
anyway.
dreaming about running bootleg liquor across.
Yeah. that Skylark had a big trunk too, man. It would hold a lot of. It would hold a lot of jugs of whiskey.
I learned to drive in a 1970 Chevrolet Kingswood station wagon. which is about the wheelbase of an F-350 dually, 4-door dually, or a Chevrolet.
like a Supra.
Apology. That sucker was huge. And well, I was taking my driver's test because back in them days you still had to parallel park. And the guy that I ended up living next door to many years later, he says, "Can you put this thing in that space?" And I said, "I can try." I said, "I've done it in practicing." He said, "Well, let's see what you can do." Or he said, "Boy, let's see what you can do." So I got the back end into it and was getting ready to, cut the wheel to the left so the front end would, come in. And he said, "That's good. Let's go." He said, "Because I guarantee you, you'll never parallel park this flat thing anywhere. You will walk 3 miles to keep from having to parallel park this thing." But you can put 4 teenage couples in that thing. When we do group dating, I always had to borrow the wagon from my mom.
Hey, Rita. Have a good day.
Oh, I love Speed Racer, Hank. Love it.
See how that 59 Ford Fairlane I had, the back seat, the part that goes up was loose. So you could go to the drive-in movie and put your buddies in the trunk. And then when you got into the drive-in, they would flop the back part of the back seat forward and curl up out of the trunk into the car so they didn't have to pay.
Dang.
Ooh, you're a criminal.
Oh.
My dad decided he was going to get, it was like a 1974, and this would have been when it was new, a 1974 Ford Thunderbird with a 464 V8 in it. The hood was as long as the rest of the body was, but that sucker would fly. You get on the interstate, it would just sit there and glide and just keep going faster and faster. Dang, did the devil about get you, Sally? Sally jumped like Satan had got her.
I'm on a listing page. I didn't even see it.
What were you looking at, Sally? That must be one of the boys. Good days, though, guys. Good days. We'd get under the shade tree and change spark plugs and change oil and all that kind of stuff on our cars, put brake shoes on them and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, you got to take the damn things to a dealership because they're liable to have to take an engine motor mount loose to replace the fan belt on it.
Well, Jim replaced a radiator on a VW Bug we got. It's a newer one. Well, not new, but like a 99.
Right.
Newer for us. You had to take the whole front clip off of the car to do it.
I was told, I don't know whether it's the truth, but the older Traverses, Chevy Traverses, I was told you had to take that whole cowling off the front of it to change the light bulbs out.
That wouldn't surprise me. That Bug is like that too, I think. Or just
not the headlight. No, you can get the headlight out, but like any service, it needed a radiator replaced. But I mean, you need to take the entire. It's a modular. It's the where you sit inside the car is like the body of the car, and then everything else like the trunk, the fenders, the front suspension, the rear suspension, everything is like bolted to this center piece by two, and it's attached by tubes. There's this tubular framing that's attached to the main unibody of the car. So anything you need to service, you need to take all that stuff off to get to where it's because it's all like interconnected. They're really bad. When they tell you need to take everything off it to get to that part and thing, they're serious. And I read the repair manual. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. They're serious. There ain't no other way to fix it but take everything off and then put it all back on. But the good news is you get really good at taking them apart and putting them back together.
Yeah,
But the second or third time you do it, it's a breeze.
my boy had a Breeze. I don't know who made that, but yeah,
Guys who like to get kids beat up.
huh?
Guys like to get kids beat up.
Yeah,
I mean, how many fights did you get in over that car?
probably quite
You're good breezy.
a few. But you had to jack that car up, take the driver's side wheel off, open the wheel well to change the battery.
Oh yeah, yeah.
God, what a pain in the
I had an '84 Buick Century. They had this bar that went across. It was that A-body GM car that had that bar that went across that over the battery, but it reinforced the fender, and then it mounted somewhere by the middle of the radiator. So you'd have to take that stupid bar off to do anything with the battery. I took the bar off and I threw it. I never put it back on. The fender stayed on, so it was bolted on, but it had other bolts places, so I just took it off and left it off. And by the third time I had to take that bar off, I'm like, I'm not doing this again.
Yeah.
That was a Plymouth. The Breeze was a Plymouth.
Yeah.
But I had a '97 Malibu. The first year they came after they started the Malibus back up, and I had to have a. We were coming back from the mountains, and the power steering pump screwed up on it, and it just shredded that fan belt. So I towed it home, and I went and got a power steering pump, and I called my uncle who was a mechanic, and he told me how to bleed the air out of it and all this kind of stuff. So I got all the power steering pump put on it and all the hoses back on it, and went to change the damn power, put a new fan belt on it, and I couldn't. I ended up having to have it towed to the Chevrolet dealership so they could disconnect the motor mount and put the daggum fan belt on it, and then put the motor mount back on. I was so damn mad.
What year was that, Todd?
I had
what year was that?
97, I think you said.
Yeah, 97.
Oh, okay.
But you were talking about the battery on my Chrysler 300. I took it out here to Jiffy Lube, and they had to put it up on the lift to put a battery in it. I took it out there to get a new interstate battery to go in it, and I said, but I can't find the battery. And this old guy came out there, and he said, because it's in the damn motor well. He said. He said, we're gonna have to drop the daggum wheel, the liner inside the wheel out.
Yeah.
And
we last winter up in Wisconsin, a lady had a dead battery, and she asked us for a jump. And when we popped the hood, you didn't know where the battery
I
was.
couldn't find it. Well, I couldn't jump her. We weren't able to.
No, we did.
We finally figured it out.
There's a head of cowling you popped off.
Yeah, it was way down by one of the wheels, down towards the bottom of the wheel well or whatever.
And it was like some
electronics, like
Was it a Chrysler?
I don't
Could
remember.
have been.
Yeah.
Because Teresa had a Concord that was like that. The battery sat right in front of the tire. So
Yeah.
the plastic piece that shields it from the wheel broke out. So every time it would rain, that water would get on that battery. And that's got to be, the car would just shut down. I said, that has got to be the stupidest design I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
I went and got
Yeah.
the battery post covers and the little plastic ones and put them over top of it and covered it so it would stay dry, because it was the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You about to have to take the tire off, get the battery out. Oh my God.
Mr. Sadie, why were you going to name your son Pontiac?
Pontiac. We always drove Pontiacs. When my whole family was a huge GM family. The only cars we drove were Pontiacs. The only trucks we drove were Chevy. One year, my mom bought a brand new 1982 that Eagle, that AMC Eagle, that 4-wheel drive piece of crap. Anyway, so she had it.
Crap.
Oh, it was bad. Anyway, she had it like 2 years, and it was giving her problems and stuff like that. She said, "God, I'm going back to Pontiac." So we were getting ready to move.
Really?
where we were at up to the suburbs, and I'm watching TV. I'm a kid, and everybody's running around like a chicken with its head cut off, just running all over the place. I'm like, what's going on? Is something on fire or something? That damn car set itself on fire in our front yard and burnt right down to the ground.
Oh my God.
The horn started blowing. They're like, who is here in the middle of the night blowing the horn? It's like 8 o'clock at night, just Robert looks out, or my uncle, the car's just flames coming out of it. You know what I mean? It burnt it down to the ground. Yeah, it burned it right to the ground. And that was our one experience of not owning a
The
Pontiac.
car was saying, help me, Lordy Jesus, I'm on fire. Help me.
Yeah, my mom. I just remember. The car. It was like one of those scenes. Like there's just fire coming out from the hood cracks, and it's in the interior, and she's there with like a bucket of water trying to throw it on the car. It was too little, too late. It was really bad.
We had that happen to a Ford station wagon. The converter went bad and caused a fire.
And it wasn't like she just came home 15 minutes ago. It had been parked there for over an hour.
Fish, I did not ever want a 1990 Chrysler LeBaron convertible. I did own a 1980 Chrysler Cordoba with T-roof in it.
I was gonna tell you the fastest I've ever went in a car is 120, and that's because I had an RX-7, and it said in the manual if you went 120, the horn would beep at you, and like automatically. And this didn't have like power locks or power windows or anything like that. So I was like really impressed with this, So I got out on a country road and I took that thing up to 120, and I scared the shit out of myself because it was a really little car.
Yeah, I would.
And I was flying.
Did it have the
worked.
wanker engine in it?
Did it have what?
Did it have the wanker engine in it? That's not it.
Yes, it had a
Wankel rotary engine. Yeah, there's supposed to be no top end on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had a weird. Yeah.
I have a pair of snowmobiles. I still own them. I kept these 2 snowmobiles that have been in my family since they were brand new. Anyway, they both have that rotary Wankel. They have a rotary Wankel engine in them.
Yeah.
I did have an 88 at one time, Mr. Sadie. Thank you kindly. Roberta we'll get Roberta a new car. I drive crap. I drive used,
That was back when
70,000 mile cars on them.
That was back when he drove Jimmy Swaggart around to different.
Oh man, I could totally see Tom being like an evangelical preacher.
No, you couldn't either. I'm too much of a sinner. Oh well, what can I say?
Oh, hey, wow.
Everybody's a sinner.
Wait, Tom, I can tell you some stories.
When I was a kid, my dad, we had a neighbor who owned a bar, and he had a 1974, 75 Cadillac Coupe de Ville convertible. It was horror red with white interior and a red Landau tire, and it had the spoke rim tires on it. I always loved that car. I wanted one so bad. And my mom would say, "Are you going to get you some girls to go along with it and start pimping them out on Cherry Road?"
Oh boy.
Well, how's it going? I'm with my homeboys chill getting effed up in the Coupe de Ville.
Oh, that's Snoop, isn't it?
But that thing was, it was a mile long. Even the coupes were a mile long when it came to a Cadillac. The coupe. But it was a cool car. And my mom said, "I could see you driving that thing." I said, "I would."
You would be a good daddy.
Oh,
Because one time I had a tangerine color.
I didn't even know that.
You need a walking stick, Tom?
Do what?
You need a walking stick.
Oh, we should send them that walking stick that's got that like bone handle on
Shut
it.
up. This is my personal collection.
Oh, you kept it on there?
Yeah.
It's a walking stick with a whale knob on it.
Seriously, I need to get one because there's days that I just need the leverage. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
to keep the
I had
holes in line.
I didn't have a K car, but I had a '78 Dodge Aspen it was tangerine color. It had a white Landau top, which for you youngsters, that's where it's just like a half top in the back, vinyl top.
Did you hear what Jim said, Tom?
No, I didn't.
When you said I need a cane for the leverage, he said he had to keep his hose in order.
Hey, it's ain't easy, but it's necessary. I'm chasing these bitches like Tom chases Jerry.
Did you ever think about going into stand-up comedy?
Oh my God.
Yeah, you were such a fun. It's so fun.
I can see Tom pulling off a convincing Colonel Sanders, the white suit.
No.
If you want to see off subject slightly, if you want to see a funny movie though on Netflix, if you have Netflix, the Dolomite movie with Eddie Murphy is really funny.
I've seen that, but I didn't know what it was about. It's funny.
Did you
What is
watch
it called?
What's it actually called? The
The Making of Dolomite, or the man. My name is Dolomite.
My name is. It's really
But
funny.
there's actually, if you go on YouTube, you can find or if they haven't pulled them all because they got popular. They have have these YouTube sites. They'll have full length blaxploitation movies, and Dolomite and the Human Hurricane or the Human Tornado is the other one. They're the two ones that are doing on that Netflix thing. But yeah, it's awesome. It's the best Eddie Murphy movie I've ever seen in my whole. It's just awesome. I love it. I could watch that movie over and over.
It's really funny. Anyway,
A guy
just
used
because we
to
were
bowl
talking
with,
about him.
a boy I used to bowl with. He had
Oh, I
he
have
had
watched
he
that.
had like a 70. He had like a 79 Plymouth Volare station wagon.
Oh my God.
Wait a minute. It had a 3-speed and a 302 V8 or whatever in it. That son of a gun you could drop the clutch on at a stoplight and you could fill the damn road up with spinning rubber.
My college roommate, had that same car when we were living in the dorms. Him and his sister had to share it, so we couldn't use it all the time. But yeah, me and him, we take that that station wagon out. We just tear up the town. It was awesome.
I
A Valari?
Valari?
Yeah. He bought a brand
had a
new.
Valari.
He brought a brand new Camaro. It was after they. Let's see. This would have been like 85, 86, something
Oh,
like that.
so like the IROC Camaro.
Yeah, he had it was a blue IROC Camaro with the T-roofs, the gray interior. It was a beautiful car. He ordered it, and I went up to. We lived in Rock Hill, or I lived in Rock Hill, and he did too. And so he bought it from City Chevrolet, which is on the opposite side of Charlotte from Rock Hill. So he said, "Why don't you go with me to get the car?" And I said, "Okay." So we get up there, and he picks up his car, and I said, "You want to give me the keys to the wagon?" He says, "No, I'm gonna drive it home." I said, "You gonna let me drive your brand new car that's got like 5 miles on it back to Rock Hill?" He says, "Sure." He says, "Tom, I love you like a brother, but I don't know whether you can handle the wagon." So we're headed down Independence Boulevard, and this is back when it was a real boulevard and had stoplights. Now it's an expressway. And we come up to this. Well, we're going down the road, and I'm following him. And these two yuppies come up in a daggum, another IROC, and he pulls up beside Jim, and his name was Jim Brown. He
The football player?
no, this guy was cheaper than me. So we stop at a stoplight, and
Answer.
I saw Tessa in there. It's a stoplight that used to be at Independence and Sharon Amity. Anyway, he pulls up beside Jim, and Jim's driving the grandma car, which it was his grandmother's car, but his father took it away from his grandmother because she got 5 speeding tickets in like 2 weeks. Anyway, so he's sitting there and he has the window down and he's playing some music. And this Camaro comes up beside him, and the guy's got like 3 chicks in the car with him. And he revs his engine, and Jim, kind of revs his engine a little bit too. And the guy's like, "Let's go, let's go, let's go."
Oh my God.
So
That sounds
Jim
like a bad American Graffiti story now.
Jim says, "Let's rock and roll." And the light changed to green, and Jim dropped the clutch on that thing and filled that Camaro full of smoke.
Oh boy.
And he left him in behind. Anyway, at the next stoplight, the guy got over the turning lane and made a left-hand turn. He wouldn't even get up beside him. And we had to stop and get some gas in this new car. And so I said, "What's up with the guy?" He says, "I don't know," but he said, "This thing has got more power than that Camaro or my new Camaro would ever think about having." But that thing was stolen. He didn't have such a rep for being such a powerful car. It was stolen. And the insurance company was going to give him like $1,900 for it. He said, "No," he said, "You find me another one and and I'll be happy with that." And they found another one, and it was like $7,500 because of the way it was built. But that old car would fly.
Yeah.
And I always wanted an IROC until I drove his, and then I never wanted another one. I never wanted that one because it drove terrible. I mean, it steered good, but it just rode so bad. Good morning, Ansley. No, I wouldn't say "You're healed, Mr. Sadie." I would say "Evil spirits come out," like old Ernest Angley used to do.
Do you handle the snakes when you say that, Tom?
Hell no.
Oh.
Texas Val, she's been posting the pictures with the snakes. Sorry, Val, haven't been watching them. I've been just like, "Oh shit, we're going to go move on."
Yeah, I'm not into snakes either.
I don't do snakes.
You're scratching me up. Now quit it.
They creep my ass out. The snakes on the plane, you might as well just shoot my ass because I would die. But they don't have, kids don't want, I mean, I had junk when I was a teenager, I mean, they were good, safe cars. Don't get me wrong, but I did not have a brand new damn Audi.
Do you know what Brandon wants for a car, for his first car?
What's
A
that?
57 Etzel. Is it a 57 Etzel, Jim?
He wants the Etzel. I don't know what. Yeah, that only made him a couple of years.
Yeah. When I wanted my first car to be a 57 Golden Hawk Studebaker. And my dad.
Okay, well, you're more in that age bracket. My kid's 12, and that's what he wants for his first car.
Can you imagine pulling into AutoZone and saying, "Yeah, my car's running wrong or whatever, it needs a part," and you got an Etzel? You know what I mean? I'm like, you can't fix that car.
I thought the Etzel was a good car. It just looked so bad. It was so different for the time that it didn't sell.
It was the price point. It cost as much as a Caddy.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, and nobody was impressed. I mean, you pulled in, it's like, okay, it's kind of a fancy jazzed up Ford, but it wasn't a Cadillac, and that was the problem. It was way overpriced, and that's why it didn't make it. It really wasn't a bad car. It just cost too much.
That's like these back in the day, people would put Rolls Royce packages on a VW Bug. You remember those? Or did you?
Yeah. The VW, the Dune Buggy package was cool, but the Rolls Royce not so much.
Well, yeah, I know. It was yeah, one of the guys from high school, this has been 76. He drove his mother's to school one day, and of course, tell about that. It's like, why did your father spend all this money for all this plastic to go on this thing?
Stop biting. No, stop biting.
And his dad had this daggum Rolls Bug painted like the window, the wheel wells, the fenders were black. So like down the hood and the center of the car and down the back of the trunk of the car, was silver, like they painted Rolls Royces. But now kids can't really do anything with their cars.
Do you remember those like Gazelle kits or whatever they had like in the 70s? You could make your car look like some kind of foreign sports car or something where you put them on like a Volkswagen body. They were those kit cars. You could tell they were a kit car a mile away. You know they got absolutely zero power. So, I mean,
they look like they were I must say they looked like they were squatty. It was like they were supposed to have a little bit more rounded edge to them, but instead, while the fiberglass was hot, they just kind of like compressed it down.
Yeah,
you could tell that they were.
Well, the kit was like cheap. I mean, the kit was super cheap, so you knew it was going to be crap. You're not fooling anybody. You don't really have a Lamborghini.
I guess I was about 22. I got to drive it was an Italian sports car, and I can't even think of the damn name of it right now.
Well, there's like Maserati or
What a Maserati. What a Lamborghini.
Ferrari.
Fiat. Not a Fiat. Anyway.
Tom got to ride a Fiat X19. Woo!
It was a Lotus. A Lotus Esprit Turbo.
Oh, okay.
It looked like a little pickup truck. You probably know the style I'm talking about. That sucker would fly. My uncle had a garage out in the country down in Horry County, and one of his customers bought that thing, and he blew the engine up in it. He forgot.
What was that Tobey Maguire miniseries? That one we laugh about.
The Spoils of Babylon.
Doesn't Tom kind of remind you a little bit of Tobey Maguire in that Spoils of Babylon? You know when he's driving that? They have that Matchbox car he's driving. Remember that Italian sports car? I don't know why. I'm just like, oh my god! I just realized Tom reminds me of that guy. Have you ever seen that, Tom?
No.
Oh, you should watch it.
Well, I don't know where you'd find it anymore. It was like a little mini series.
It was on like Independent Film Channel. It was funny.
But my father-in-law, my uncle told me, he says, Tommy, just keep it in the road. That's all I ask you to do. Keep it in the road. Because that sucker would fly. And his shop was down a dirt road, a sandy road. And if those that's been to the coastal area of South Carolina knows that fine sand they have down there. Anyway, I finally got that sucker to the paved road and wound that sucker up.
Are your roads real narrow there?
Nah.
No,
Out in the country they are. Out in the country where they don't, like dirt roads and stuff like that, they are.
No, I mean like paved 3-digit highway roads. I mean, there's like enough, it's 2 lanes and they have a fog line and a stripe, but it's like there's enough room for 2 cars to pass. And you don't have much space in between. That's crazy here.
You're mixing us up with Mississippi and Alabama.
Well, that's what it's like here. Let's put in some better highways, but like the road I live on, it looks like a paved driveway. That's about how wide it is. If there's another car coming, you gotta kind of pull off. But even like the numbered 2-digit roads, I'm more used to now. But they don't have any shoulder or anything. It's like fog line and then ditch. It's weird.
So I haven't looked over at my likes and dislikes, but we probably pissed off enough people about making fun of their cars from their youth or their young adulthood that they
probably
they don't like it. Oh, I got one. But when you're old enough to have your restricted driver's license, you'll drive whatever. I had a '65 Corvair for a while. Don't know where my dad got that thing from. But I probably drove it for 6 months. But I'll say one thing for that little car. You could hug a daggum road. Because my dad had an employee that had Corvettes. And he brought wrecked ones and he would put them together and put, really nice paint jobs on them and whatnot. And he came flying up behind me one day and I recognized the car from the paint paint scheme on it. And so we were going down this road, and I kind of like bumped it up a little bit above the speed limit. Being that I'm in a 65 Corvair and this is 1975. Anyway, we got to a stoplight, a stop sign, and he pulled up beside me. He said, "Man, you just about lost me on that curve back there." And I said, "Shut the hell up. This Corvair is not going to lose that Corvette." He said, "Actually, you did, because he said, for me to stay up on top of you, I had to run a little bit more horsepower, and this Corvette weighs a lot more than that Corvair does, and it's got a lot more horsepower." So he said it was a case of I was just about to overpower that curve. But that sucker, it would hug a little curve.
Oh my God, Jim did that with his motorcycle. So we were back up north yet on a side road, and he wanted to take his motorcycle for a test drive. And there's this person following him with a motorcycle. He's, "Who is this dork? I'm going to get rid of him." How fast you wind up that Yamaha on those side roads? Were you doing like 8? You were going over 100 on a motorcycle? Oh my God, he's going, oh my God.
I said, on a motorcycle is like going like 50 in a car.
I don't know. You're going to kill yourself. Anyway, they're like, "Oh, I'd like to ride bike with you. You really drive fast." Ever. She had been
Well, she's trying to get, she wanted me to go with, they want to go to Tomahawk or something. Want to know if I want to go with them. Yeah, no.
A boy driving for the first time on his own. That's probably the greatest memory in his life.
I had to stop off and get some Pepto-Bismol. I had a horrible hangover.
To drive on your own?
Yeah. The guy at the place I worked at, I just turned 16. He said, "Hey, do you know how to drive a stick?" And I'm like, "You mean I get to drive the truck?" "Yeah, sure. Yeah, I know how to drive a stick." So I just I'm in the parking lot for about 15 minutes reading the owner's manual, trying to figure out how to drive a stick. So anyway, yeah, I drove that whole day. I learned how to drive a stick that day, driving around the company. It was a 1980 Chevy 3-speed pickup truck, doing deliveries. So that was my first time driving on my own.
I drove from the time I was 16 to the time I was 20 on my own without a driver's license.
Oh, and you could legally drink at 16 back then.
Not when I was 16. Anyway.
I don't know anybody else that when somebody says we had to stop and get Pepto-Bismol, and I go, "Yum."
Oh, yeah. I know you're feeding into Sally's addiction to Pepto-Bismol.
Like,
I don't like it. I don't know how you can drink that much of it, because honestly, I don't even like the taste of it. I don't like the smell
I
of
love
it.
it. Oh, I
You
love
know what
it.
it reminds me of? And I don't know why. Remember like when you were in school and somebody throw up in the hallway and they bring out that peppermint powder crap that they put on the beer
Yeah.
filler? It reminds me of that. It's that smell.
Well, that morning when I left for work, I ate all frosted flakes. I walked out the door, and my old man, I got sick. I walked out the door, walked to my feet. My old man was driving me to work, and I got sick. And I'm like, "I'm gonna call in sick today, Dad. I'm not gonna go in." So I walk a couple steps. All of a sudden, his hand grabs me by the collar and yanks me around. He goes, "Old enough to drink the night before, old enough to work the next day." So he made me go to work.
Oh my God.
Okay, this is Uncle Tom's story from his very early youth.
Okay, make him stop. Make him behave.
I've mentioned before that a friend of mine, his family had an original. I mean, they had a plantation, but the house itself was a historical type thing. They didn't actually live in it anymore. It was used for like the garden clubs and stuff like that would come out there. And so when they would have certain groups of women come in, everybody dressed in costume, and I usually went down there and Craig and I we would play, we would dress in period pieces, and we would play with toys that kids would have during that time.
I knew you were wearing knickers when you were a kid.
Oh, yeah.
You were
Yeah.
at the plantation. wearing
Anyway.
knickers
Wait a minute,
and
what is
shit.
this, HMS Pinafore?
Yeah. So anyway, we got there, we would play with like the big hoop and the stick and make it roll and all this kind of crap.
And then for a treat, you got to watch the Magic Lantern.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, it was in the summer, and I went because they had a house that on the property that they would stay in when they were there. The rest of the time they lived over at the beach. Anyway,
What stops for Scar Stanley?
we got in. His grandfather was the last person that the family that lived in the house, and in his study he still had a decanter full of brandy and cigars. And so Craig
He had a
decided,
bunch of Confederate money in there too.
you've been ugly, Tara. So Craig decides that we're going to go because we're going to camp out down by the edge of the river. So we're going to camp out. And so we go out down there, and he's brought a bottle of brandy that his grandfather had in the cupboard, and a couple of cigars. Now his grandfather's been dead for 2 years, and these cigars have been in an open cigar box on his desk. So they were like
After the ladies would take their afternoon nap, though.
yeah. So we have a fire built, and we're sitting down there and we're drinking brandy and smoking these cigars, and the cigars make us sick, and the brandy makes us drunk. And his sister, who is a bitch to this day, she came down there and she said, "You boys look like you'll have fun. Just don't fall into the river. You'll drown, or the alligator to get you." So next morning we get up. Actually, this guy from the house comes down there to get us up because we're late. And we go up there and we're both hungover and sick. And Miss Hattie, who was her great grandmother or great grandmother was actually a slave on the plantation and actually ran the household. So anyway, she says, "You boys are going to drink."
Whoa. What did you say your great grandmother was?
I said, the lady that was like overseeing the house, her great grandmother was actually a slave on the plantation.
I knew it.
Not
All
mine.
right.
Anyway, she says, "You boys are going to drink like your men. You got to work like men."
Yeah.
And it must have been 100 degrees out there. And she had us weeding the vegetable garden, and we would puke, and we would weed, and we would puke, and we would win. We would weed. And there's these ladies from the Charleston Garden Club that's coming over there because they had some really nice azaleas. And one of the ladies says, "What's wrong with those boys?" And Miss Hattie says, "They stayed out too late drinking last night, so they're having to pay the price." But we were so sick, and it was probably from the cigar, the stale cigars than it was from the liquor. But I tell you what, it took me forever before I could even stand, because my dad liked a cigar every once in a while. I just about throw up every time I smell a cigar being lit up. So there's my story.
Well, now I know that you were hanging out with a bunch of young gents like Ashley Wilkes running around some.
No, not hardly. Even though I did have a fancy dress clothes down there if they were doing
I
it.
could see you with like your lace around your collars and stuff like that.
You know what? I'm like, Craig and I actually, we at school, because we went to school at the same school together, we got into the library, and we told the librarian what we were looking for. Did she have anything in there? She said she didn't know, but she would see what she could find out. We were looking for this period clothes, and we finally, it was like we had to tell his mother and his aunt and Miss Hattie that they were dressing in this like 6-year-olds, not 11, 12-year-olds. And because it was the black dress suits with the lace around the collar. I wish I had pictures of that. I do.
I can imagine that. Yeah,
Little Fauntleroy.
Yeah.
But good times. Those are memories that people don't have these days. I mean,
harp record music.
True.
it's like Jim hiding vehicles out in the woods behind his parents' house. You know,
Yeah, but Jim never did run around with a stick and a hoop chasing a wheel hoop around the yard.
that was a paid job. That was a paid job. I was getting paid like 50 cents an hour to do that.
Oh, okay.
That was not like we were doing that.
What? Okay, now I don't want to be mean here, but this reminds me a little bit of Gone with the Wind. Remember the movie where they just do like this frivolous stuff and a life of ease, you know, with parties and naps and stuff? They're paying Tom 50 cents an hour as a kid to run around the yard with a hoop and a stick and act all old timey and
Yeah,
stuff.
and then he goes out of the yard down the truck to pick up the ice shavings.
He's selling rags to the rag man.
Yo, thank y'all. Y'all being so kind to be like this.
Wasn't Tom's first job was the lamplighter, right? He went around with the
No, my first job was a chimney sweep.
Oh boy.
Chim tree.
Chim, tree.
Oh my God.
Don't
Well, speaking of tobacco products, we go to this auction, and this guy, his son's an auctioneer, so he works as a ringman, and he'll have this big thing, long cut tobacco in his cheek here. It looks like he's got an orange in his cheek. His cheeks must be way stretched out because he just like shoves it in. I mean, I never saw somebody put so much tobacco in their cheek. Anyway, so he'll be talking. And he's not like spitting it out, but it's just kind of like coming out his lip, you know, and going down his chin. But it looks like he's like chewing on like silage because it's the old timey kind of tobacco in the pouch, you know, like that little long cut stuff, you know. Anyway,
not a
that
plug.
cracked me up.
Like not big red. It's a chewing gum.
It's not Big Red. No.
What is it? Red
It's not like Red Man or something,
Red
but it's
Man,
not Red
that's it.
Man. I don't know what brand it is.
Beech nut.
I don't know what. Maybe I don't know. Do they still make beech nut? I guess.
Days
I
of
mean,
work.
his cheek. I mean, it's like you stuck an orange in there. I'm
Yeah.
not kidding.
I
It would
never
be
did.
like this paperweight. It looks like it's this far out.
I
And they talk like this, you can't hardly understand what they're saying because they go.
Yeah. No, and he's got that real Kentucky accent. So yeah, I mean,
They sound like Boomhauer. We'll talk like this.
Yeah.
Going on.
there was a guy we went to an auction Monday night, and he keep wanting to turn around and like comment to us. I couldn't understand a word he was saying. All I could do was nod and smile, like, oh yeah. And he kind of laughs. I'm like, oh, he told the joke. Oh yeah, funny. I have no idea what the hell he said to me.
Fish, you could be on my side here, son. You don't have to jump in on with the Yankees now.
What are you talking about? Oh, you talking to the Lord?
John's first job was to light the school zone lanterns before school. No, we didn't have to worry about that because the horses just couldn't go that fast.
He had like Paul Revere's lantern.
Yeah. It's yeah, well, see, down around Horry County, South Carolina, which is near Myrtle Beach, that was tobacco country. My dad's family raised tobacco. And but the stuff that you smoke here is not American tobacco. It's imported. The stuff.
Well, they have something here in Kentucky. It's like burley tobacco. It's like this is there's a couple different kinds of tobacco, but I think they mostly grow like a burley tobacco here or something like that. It's a little bit different. It's everywhere here, though. I'm like in tobacco growing country. I mean, like here, like in the fall when they're cutting it and hanging it and everything, and now they're like, I'm assuming they're taking it to the tobacco market and selling it because they're moving it around again or whatever.
There is a YouTube video of like the last tobacco auction.
In Kentucky, is it?
I think it's in Columbia, South Carolina.
I thought there was one up here too.
It might have been there. I was thinking it was south, but it could be in Kentucky. I don't know.
Yeah.
And they would actually walk around and auction off piles of tobacco.
Yeah,
That's the way
because
it was
they say
done.
like not very many buyers show up, but they're like one of the last tobacco auction houses in the area. They did do one up here on that too. Anyway, I don't know how they sell it because I mean I guess they have
They
auctions here, but
export it.
otherwise, I suppose they just sell it right to whoever buys it.
You know, the
Yeah, they probably got a
Europeans, and the
contract.
Eastern Europeans, and smoke like chimneys
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, good times, good memories. And I'm glad y'all had y'all's good day. Y'all better all give me a damn thumbs up for all this good laughing I've given y'all. I've only got 18 out of 21, but
Well, when you start telling your plantation stories, I mean, you just fall right into it, Tom.
you know, that's just where I was born up. I mean, brought up. You know, I was brought up a gentleman. And being the fact that the subdivision we lived in, everybody was military around us. They were either civil service at the military base or they were military. And Mr. Scoggins, who lived across the street, he had 3 sons and a daughter. Man, he treated us all like his children. And y'all better knock that shit off out there, or I'm going to come out there and whoop somebody's ass. And I'm like, okay. And my mom and dad would have said, we could have said, Mr. Scoggins just whipped us. And my dad would have said, well, you probably deserved it. Nowadays, it would be like lawsuits and every daggum thing.
I don't know. I mean, I'll walk around here, like in the stores, and you'll have a kid acting up. I mean, they'll either potch the kid, hit the kid, or threaten. If you keep this up, I'm going to whoop you right here. You know, and nobody thinks anything of it. Because, I mean, like, where I'm from, they just don't say that kind of stuff. Our neighbor across the street's like, okay, now be careful if you got to give your boy, what do they say it, like boy, a whooping. Because, you know, if the mark stays for more than 48 hours and is bigger than your thumb, you can get in trouble. And I'm like, my kid's 12 years old. I mean, and he's almost as tall as me. I don't think I'm going to be giving him a whooping. You know, I don't know. We're kind of past the whooping age.
I don't know. He gets with them country boys down there. He might see a whooping in his future.
No.
Hanging with my country cousins, we did some crap. My dad always said, if you get hurt, I'm going to beat your ass. Like, okay.
I'm going to give you something to cry about, kind of lecture.
My uncle was the same way, because we did some crazy stuff. Somewhere or another, he had a bunch of friends that were members of the Shriners. And every year they used to have this big shrine. I don't know whether they still do or not, but they had this big shrine weekend down at the Myrtle Beach. Anyway, he had a rickshaw that they used at one of their parades. I don't know how it ended up in my uncle's carport, but it did. Well, we hooked that up to the back. We hooked it to a Yamaha 125 dirt bike. And of course, with those wheels on it, like they had, those rigid wheels, and then we'd go out riding through the fields with it, or, you know, dragging it behind this motorcycle. And we would be sitting in the rickshaw while one of us would be riding the motorcycle. And my uncle came out there and he said, if one of y'all boys fall out and get caught in those wheels and lose an arm or a leg or anything like that, I'm going to have to listen to y'all's mamas. And if I have to listen to your mamas, I'm going to beat y'all's ass. And after he went off, we were like, oh, my God, if we lose an arm or leg, he's still going to beat us because he's had to listen to our mothers.
Oh, boy.
But that was some fun stuff. Some good stuff. Say, Lord, mercy, Jesus, I'll whoop your ass. That's right, Ansley. That is right. Because it's going to hurt them worse than it does us. No, my dad could make a belt sing when he swung it through the air.
I never got whipped with a belt. I get the threat, you know, like when they start like acting like they're going to unbuckle their belt, like, don't make me take my belt off. But I've never was actually hit with a belt.
No, if you got to the point where they're threatening around my household, or my father, my uncle, friends of our family, if it got to the point that they were threatening or they were unfastening their belt, it was already to the point of no return. Somebody was going to get their ass beat, and it was all of us.
Oh boy.
Yeah, as the Piggly Wiggly, you've never shopped until you've been to the pig. And they used to get good money for Piggly Wiggly T-shirts on eBay.
No, Jim's got 2 of them.
The pig.
Yeah, he's got a couple Piggly Wiggly T-shirts.
Yeah, I've mentioned before. My best friend that thought everybody in North Carolina had pig farms. He always would ask me, "How's the pig farm going?" Okay.
We had Piggly Wigglies up around Milwaukee area in Wisconsin.
They used to
I mean,
be.
I remember shopping at them there. We had in northern Wisconsin, which you don't see anymore. They had a lot of red owls, but down in southern Wisconsin, there was quite a few Piggly Wigglies.
My mom, when we were a little kid, she shopped at the Red and White.
I never heard of that one.
I don't even know whether it's around anymore.
Oh my God. I took Jim in the Kroger's here and he had such a freak out. I had to leave. I can't. He's like, I hate it here. I hate this Kroger's. I mean, it's all he does. He'll still, if he was in here, he'd be complaining about the Kroger's right now. I can't go in like a grocery store with him if it's one I've never been in. I mean, he freaked out about that Kroger's.
What do you not like about the Kroger?
He thought it was dirty, which it did not look that bad to me. He thought it was overpriced. And then he gets mad if you need a like shopper's card in order to get all the discounts, you know, because they have the tags like ice cream's on sale. But if you don't have the card, you don't get the sale price, which that just infuriates him. Jim, how'd you feel about Kroger's?
Not good. Well, the floor tiles are broken. It's got cracked floor tiles all over the place, dirt, skid marks from the pallet jacks and stuff. The maintenance looks horrible.
He
And-
exaggerates.
yeah, well,
He just goes all
if you
overboard when he
can't
don't
keep
like
your
something.
floors clean, I'm not in any store. I can tell you that because I know what the back room of a meat place looks like in a nice store. If you ain't even taking care of the floor, the bathroom is horrible.
Well, I didn't go in the bathroom.
Well, I did, and it was horrible. I mean, it's
Dang,
a bad.
You're like an old woman, dude. I'm not
Yeah, well, you don't have to shop with him. And then he does this in public, and the store he starts freaking out. So you just have to get out of there with him because you can't stand being with him.
I used to run backstock.
You can tell he gets this look on his face, and he just will not stop.
Yeah, I worked in a grocery store. I unloaded a truck. I ran in backstock, and I could tell you the store I worked in, they would close if the owner came in and saw that, they'd shut it down because we happen to live in the town where the owner of the chain actually lived in the town, and he would come to our store. I mean, that store was spotless. We did kill people, but the store was spotless.
When I go into a grocery store, and I have chewed out managers before because every once in a while they just like shift everything around inside the store, you know. I know I always shop at the same grocery store so I know where everything's at, and I'm in and out.
Jim only likes to shop at Walmart, and that includes Walmart grocery store.
It's clean. I know what I'm getting, and the place is clean. The bathroom's not weird. You know, everything's normal. You know, I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yeah, Roses was we had Roses. We still have Roses down here, a few of them. I don't know how they stay in business with a Walmart. But I'm in a grocery store. I grab what I need. It's on my list, and I'm out of there. I'm not fiddle farting around looking at everything on the face of the earth in there. Roberta goes in there. She wants to look down through the wine section. Baby, you don't drink. Well, I just want to see the bottles. Or then one day she wanted to go down the baby aisle, and I'm like, "Is there something you have?"
Oh boy, Tom! When they start wanting to get down that baby aisle, you better watch out.
Like, I just want to see what kind of new stuff they've got for babies. You know, we'll have grandchildren one of these days, hopefully.
Well, I hope not too soon.
Oh, absolutely not. She would lose her mind, especially the one that's the
Make
serious.
sure your kids are driving a car before they make babies.
It's yeah. I went into there's one up near where Roberta's at, and it's just like amazing that the thing is still there because the prices are okay, but you know, and we had a Kmart here up the road, not too far away from here, and I would stop at the Kmart if I felt like they would have what I was looking for before I would drive to all the way over to Walmart because my time is, you know, worth a little something, even though I spend 3 hours on a damn YouTube talk show.
Yeah, but you are making all that YouTube revenue now.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah.
So I mean, it is just part of the YouTube job. So
Yeah, I guess. Did y'all ever have a Ben Franklin? That was like
Yeah.
a
five and dime type store.
Yeah.
Did you tell my mom likes Kroger's?
Yeah, his mom likes Kroger's. I'm like, let's go see what the Kroger's are like because your mom really likes it. He had such a freak out about it. I mean, I want to go look in the IGA, but I can't do it if he's with me because if there's anything that's just not right, he'll just freak out.
I have a store I already like. It's a grocery half at a Walmart Supercenter. Okay, but she's got to take me to these other grocery stores. You know, my mom shops at my mother shops at Kroger's. You know where else she eats? Where she goes out to eat? Cracker Barrel. I don't go to Cracker Barrel because they fired my mom. But my mom, the one who got fired, she eats at Cracker Barrel. She don't care.
Well, she says she wasn't fired.
Whatever. I'd probably fired her.
Yeah.
But kill my mom.
Jim, you need to let it go.
No, actually, he won't go in a Waffle House
Why not?
because he said they're in bad areas of town.
Well, it wasn't a Waffle House's fault. I got mugged right next to a Waffle. The mugger came out of a Waffle House. So I mean, but it ain't Waffle House's fault. I really got nothing against. But every time I see a Waffle House, it brings me back to that moment.
Lord have mercy. Okay, I'm taking up a collection to see if I can buy Jim a few hours of therapy to see if he can get him past that damn Cracker Barrel thing he's got going.
He's not.
I
He's
need to-
turning into like one. You ever meet one of those old guys that just complains about everything or has like a freak out about everything? That's what he's turning into.
I don't.
He'll be like this morning. He'll be swearing at the dogs. I'm like, oh man, I just saw my future of some old guy yelling at dogs all the time.
You kids get off my lawn.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make my way out of the kitchen. Tara's doing dishes at one end. Okay.
I have also, in my defense, we also have a bunch of auction stuff on processing that has been stacked up in the floor of the kitchen.
I got 3 dogs. I no sooner get one dog out from between my legs, another dog takes its place. I take another step and a third dog's between my legs. Yeah, that's why I start swearing. Okay. 3 dogs between my legs, it's too much.
Anthony says Waffle House and you got mugged. Yep, that's about right.
We went to the Huddle House. There's one here, which I think it looks a lot like a Waffle House because I have eaten in a Waffle House. But it was expensive. The 3 of us ate there. It was like, I mean, by the time we paid for our food and with the tip and everything, it was like $47.
Damn.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know if that wasn't really worth it. I mean, it was all right, but I mean, it was pancakes and eggs for Christ's sake, you know?
That's expensive.
Yeah, I thought so too.
When we went to Australia, we stopped at the Waffle House because nothing was open at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we were headed to the airport. So we stop at the Waffle House and where we get breakfast because because nothing like greasy food from a diner before you get on a 14-hour flight to a 5 to LA and then 8.5 or something down to Australia. Anyway, so we stopped there and we're getting breakfast because Shoney's is not open that early. And the cook, the fry cook, I'm not going to call him a chef, the fry cook, and one of the waitress get into a fight.
Oh boy.
She had already brought our ticket to us. We were getting ready to leave anyway. They were getting ready to get in a fight. So I just it was like, $20. So I threw down $30 for a tip included. Here's your money. Bye. Well, we got out to the car and was getting situated in the car, and the police come flying up. So apparently somebody in the Waffle House had called the police because they were getting ready to throw down.
Oh boy.
Good memories. Good memories. An IGA. I haven't seen an IGA.
There's something missing there, like a turn thing, right? It looks like the
Broke off, yeah.
screws broke off.
Those used to be like in little country towns. I don't know whether they're franchises or what.
Are you talking about IGA?
Yeah, Independent Grocers Association, I think was what so they would buy, it was like a co-op. They would buy in large quantities so these smaller grocery stores could compete with the bigger ones.
Okay. Because
Yeah, we used to have an Alpha Beta in California, and it turned into an IGA.
They're all right.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I sold a stupid Pepsi machine.
Mhm.
Is it
It
somebody around here or far away?
Tennessee.
Okay.
it would, like I said, they would be like out in the country, little country stores, towns. They would have the IGAs.
Yeah.
We had this kid, his dad owned the IGA in our town. And I never did, but I always would hear from these other kids who would like if they stayed overnight at his house or whatever, they would go up on top of on the roof of the IGA and smoke reefer.
Oh,
Have you ever heard of Red Apple grocery
No.
stores?
No.
No.
Red Owl.
I had no, it was Red Apple, and it was a grocery store, and but it was where I lived in Washington.
Huh. Well, Apple's Washington. So were they outside of Washington or?
I don't know. That's what I was trying to see if maybe they were.
I'm
a
wondering
franchise.
because that name there, because Washington is a big Apple state. I wonder if it was just a Washington.
Jim's
Right,
mom
but-
really likes Aldi's, and I hate Aldi's. I won't go in an Aldi's.
Oh God, you're going to create a damn.
I know. There's a lot of people. I don't like it.
I'll
At least
pay
the
you.
one up in Wisconsin, I didn't like it.
I'll pay the extra nickel for a gallon of milk at Walmart. But the cans aren't dented. It's actually the food I want. It's a brand I
Yeah.
recognize.
What is that? There's another one. We've got a couple of them here. It's another one of those foreign brand, cheap. What's that thing called? Anyway, you have to drink. If you get a gallon of milk, it's cheap, but you have to drink it fast because it's not pasteurized or something. It would turn fast.
Well, like if I go to a grocery store, like let's say I want asparagus. I mean, like if I go to like Walmart, they're gonna have asparagus. Don't matter if it's out of season or not. But like Aldi's, because it's like I think they're buying thing, they might not have that particular item in stock. So I'm like, eh. Then Jim's mom's like, "Oh, I'm surprised you don't like Aldi's. You're German. They have all those like real good European pastries." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So I go in there with her. It's like baklava in a box. That like crappy dried up baklava they sell in a box. That's what she's talking about.
Mhm.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I was talking about red and white grocery stores. It's sort of like IGA, and it's still around because they were like a group purchasing group. Anyway, I hope y'all have been entertained.
Tom's had enough.
Learned a little something from Sweet Daddy Tom. Oh, Lord have mercy. You people kill me. Anthony, you're wide open today, honey. Do you have a session with Sister Fran? Sally, you doing the show tomorrow? You want me to do tomorrow?
Yeah, you could do it tomorrow.
Okay, because I'm not going to be able to do it Friday.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to, if Sally doesn't have a problem with it, if anybody from the group wants to host this thing, feel free to show it. We'll help you out. We'll help you get going if you want to give it a try. But if you start a regular show, you cannot do it between the hours of 9 and 11 Eastern Standard Time in the morning. Because then Sally will have to
Why
come
not?
and catch you. Huh? Oh,
Why
I'm
not?
talking about after
Oh, like he's talking about like if you just started doing your own regular
yeah,
show.
after Valerie comes back. Because then Sally will have to hunt you down and catch you. Because you'll be
Hey, you know what? If they want to, then that's fine with me, and it's fine with Valerie too. If people can do whatever the fuck they want, I
Oh
mean,
boy.
Little is correct. Fishing and Pickler. That's another one. Now they have a nice little clean modern store, but it's so far out it's not worth the savings as you get to have to drive to it. But anyway, I guess I'll do a show again tomorrow at 9 EST, and that's Earth
Okay.
Standard Time. You people with all your funky time zones. Thank you for coming in. Thank you all the panel for coming in. If you're not subscribed to them, which you should be by now, you need to reach out and show them some love. Because Todd needs all the love he can get. What you got packed there, Todd?
That is a gold necklace.
Oh, they finally paid, huh?
Yep.
Well, it looks like it's about 8 inches thick.
Well, I pack good when I'm packing gold.
Okay. Okay. That's you got it inside of a box inside of the bag.
Yeah, I got a 6x4x4 inside of a padded flat rate.
Okay. Okay. I was like, what
Wait,
the
is it a necklace, Todd?
Yep.
How big is it? Okay, I'm gonna be stupid here. Why wouldn't you just put it in the priority small flat rate box?
Because I didn't have any flat rate boxes.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
So I just put it in a little box and then
Oh,
inside
yeah. Yeah.
the padded flat rate.
I was just gonna say the small flat rate's cheaper than the padded flat rate. So.
Yeah, I just was out of the small flat rate boxes.
Mm. Well, there
Oh,
you have it.
great. That's the sound your printer makes when it tries to print its last label.
Are you using the little like a 4XL, or are you using a regular printer?
Yeah, 4XL or 450 turbo.
And you can print shipping labels with a 450 turbo?
Yep.
Okay.
I learned how to by the awesome reseller Laurie taught me how to do it.
The Thrifty Picker, Laurie?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, y'all. Have a great day.
Settings you have to do and stuff. So
Y'all have a great day. Make some money. Stay out of trouble. Tara, try to keep Jim under control.
Yeah, he's real out of
He's
control.
going to be a loose cannon in his old age.
Yeah, he's gonna drive me nuts.
See, y'all have a good day.
bye.
See you
You too.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye.